Hey guys, how are you all? Welcome back to my channel. Today we will see what if Naruto forced to return by Minato. If you enjoy then please like, share and do comments. Minato-sensei. Stated a dumbfounded Kakashi, "You're alive." Minato just stared at him for almost a minute, trying to figure out what he would do next. Once he had decided, "Kakashi, there's no time for explanations. Where is the biggest threat to the village that you know of?" Kakashi thought for a minute. With Orochimaru gone, I would have to say the biggest treat is Tsuna's Jinchuriki. Sasuke Uchiha went after him and I sent Naruto Uzuma. "Take me there," yelled Minato. Kakashi just stared blankly at him. Sure, the last Uchiha was important, but why would his sensei have freaked out about it? "I said take me to him, now." Kakashi was stunned. He had never seen his sensei like this, especially over someone he couldn't have really known. With slight hesitation, Kakashi summoned one of his dogs, only to be surprised when he found it was Pakun, the dog he had sent with Naruto earlier. "Yo," said the ninja pug. "What is that blonde kid?" "He just beat a Jinchuriki in its full form, kid's incredible." "Pakun, are you saying that Naruto and Sasuke beat Gaara?" asked an astonished Kakashi. "No, just Naruto. When we got there the Uchiha kid was out like a light. Naruto beat him by himself. The fight was over, so I dispelled and was almost instantly summoned here," stated Pakun as he looked at the man to Kakashi's right. "Hey Minato, what's up? Thought you died? I'll explain later, get me to Naruto, he is my only priority," commanded Minato. "Why is he so concerned about Naruto?" thought Kakashi. "Got it," said Pakun lazily. "Hey Minato, he wouldn't happen to be." "Yes, that's why I need to get to him now." "Understood," said Pakun. -5 minutes later, clearing. "Stay away from me," yelled a frightened Gaara, unable to move. "It's almost unbearable, isn't it?" asked a stoic Naruto as he crawled towards Gaara. The feeling of being all alone. Gaara's eyes widened. Naruto, with tears in his eyes, continued, "I know that feeling, I've been there, in that dark and lonely place. But now, there are other people that mean the world to me. I care more about them than I do myself and I won't let anyone hurt them. That's why I refuse to give up. I will stop you, even if I have to kill you." "But why?" asked Gaara. "Why would you do this for anyone but yourself?" "Because, they were the ones that saved me from myself. They saved me from my loneliness. They were the only ones to accept me for who I am. They are my friends." "Naruto, that's enough," came the voice of one of Naruto's friends, the voice of Sasuke. "The sand crumbled, Sakura is free. And this guy's chakra is all used up, it's over." Naruto smiled. "That's a relief," and Naruto passed out. "Naruto!" shouted a new voice. Everyone looked up to one of the branches. There stood Kakashi, Pakun and a man who looked exactly like the fourth Hokage. The man jumped down and took Naruto's unmoving body at his arms. "What happened? Is he?" He couldn't bring himself to say the last word. Sir?" asked the last Uchiha. "He's just passed out. He was fighting that guy." Sasuke pointed, but they were already gone. "Thank God," said the older blonde as he turned and started to walk toward the village. "Kakashi-sensei, who is that guy?" asked a confused Sasuke. "He looks exactly like Naruto, is that his dad?" It all clicked for Kakashi. Naruto was the son of the fourth Hokage. That man is Minato Namikaze. Sasuke's eyes widened, but Itachi was the fourth Hokage. He died 12 years ago. It will all be explained later. For now get Sakura and head back to the village, and with that, Kakashi also left. Next day, unknown location. Naruto awoke to sight of a ceiling, but it wasn't his and it wasn't the boring white ceiling of the hospital. Naruto panicked and bolted out of the large bed he had been sleeping in. There was no one else in the room and he was thoroughly confused. "I am not in the hospital. Here am I." Deciding that the place he was in was most likely not a good place to be, he shot out the door. He came into a long hallway that had stairs at the end of it. He went down the stairs only to find that he was in a very nice living room. He looked around and the house was huge. It was almost as big as the Hokage mansion. He stumbled upon the kitchen. There was a man sitting with his back to the door, eating ramen. Naruto tried to get out before he was noticed, but he wasn't that lucky. Or was he? "Finally awake, huh?" asked the stranger in a kind and caring voice. Naruto was instantly on guard. No stranger was ever nice to him. He was about to run away when the man started to speak again. Come and sit. I already made you some ramen. And I think it's time I finally met you. Who are you? And where am I? The last thing I remember was Sasuke telling me the fight was over. Said a frightened Naruto. The last time he woke up in someone else's house he was beaten within an inch of his life. Are you alright? Asked the stranger. You're shaking, is something wrong? Naruto looked up. The man had turned around and was staring into his eyes. Naruto was lost in shock. Why, you're the fourth Hokage? Oh god, I'm dead. I bet the villagers are happy though, the demon is finally gone. Said Naruto, growing more and more depressed by each word coming out of his own mouth. What are you talking about? Why would the villagers be glad if you were dead? Asked a confused Minato. He had meant for him to be a hero. Why would the village be glad if their hero died? They all hate me. They think I am the nine-tailed fox because you sealed it inside me. Said Naruto on the verge of tears. At least it's over now. No more beatings, getting thrown out of stores, it's finally over. I just wish I could have said goodbye to everyone. On Minato's face was a mixture of shock, depression and pure rage. How could this happen? Sarutobi promised him Naruto would be looked at as a hero? What was going on? Naruto. You're not dead, you're in my home. Our home. I choose you to hold the Kyuubi for one reason. You were the only one I knew could handle it. After all, you are my son. Naruto froze with a look of shock on his face. After about a minute of being unable to move, or even think, he lost consciousness. Before he could hit the floor he was swept into a hug and brought back to the room he was in before, his room. -2 hours later, Naruto awoke to the sounds of shouting. How could you let that happen to him? What kind of sensei are you? Don't say anything, Kakashi. I'm going to go try and fix this fuck up you've all made and save my son from any further pain. Keep an eye on him and maybe I won't kill you when I get back. And then Naruto heard the door slam. Naruto was scared. Heard someone coming to the room he was in. He freaked out. He was in the home of the fourth Hokage, the most beloved man in the village, and he was the most hated in the village. This was only going to end badly. Naruto bolted toward the window, a last-ditch effort to get out alive. Naruto, what are you doing? Asked a confused Kakashi. I need to get out now. It's the only way they won't kill me for trespassing, cried the young blonde as Kakashi grabbed him by the shoulder and pulled him back into the room. Why won't you let leave? You want me dead like all the others, don't you? Kakashi was floored by that question. Was this sad little boy the real Naruto? Was this what he was like when he removed his emotional mask? Naruto just wiggled from his grip and fell to the floor. The look on his face was one of someone who had lost all hope. He sat on the floor with his knees in his chest. Then in the most emotionless and cold voice that Kakashi had ever heard, Naruto asked. Can you just kill me, Kakashi-sensei? I am going to be killed for using Kyuubi's chakra when I fought Gaara and Neji anyways. It would be better if you did it. It probably won't hurt as much, and you'd probably get a medal or something, said Naruto. His usually vibrant blue eyes looked almost gray, truly lifeless. He was sitting with his back in a corner and his knees in his chest, seemingly waiting for a killing blow to end his life. Kakashi just stared at his student in a horrified awe. Was this really Naruto? What happened to the blonde bundle of energy that was always smiling and laughing? Was this the real Naruto? Kakashi couldn't take any more. Faye ran from the doorway, into the bathroom, and vomited. He was literally sick from seeing some he was so close to like that. No human being deserved that. It reminded him of how his father was after his botched mission. This was exactly how he was acting before. Oh god, no. Kakashi sprinted to Naruto's room and tackled him, just seconds away from Naruto cutting his wrist. Don't you dare do that. You are Naruto Namikaze. You defeated Gaara and saved the village. You are not a monster. You are a hero. Kakashi yelled as he held the weeping Naruto in his arms. Don't worry about the villagers, I'll protect you with my life. And so will your father. You're not alone anymore, Naruto, never again will you be alone. Naruto was overwhelmed. He didn't know what to think. Every memory of his beatings, the verbal abuse, getting kicked out of stores, everything was rushing through his head, but so were the good memories, Team 7, the Ichiraku family, Kakashi, his mission to Wave Country. It was all bombarding his mind in a never-ending torrent of both heaven and hell. Naruto couldn't take it. He started hyperventilation. His body couldn't take the stress. He started convulsing and he lost consciousness. Kakashi panicked. He picked the boy up and sprinted to the hospital. Council chambers. Okay everyone, stated a pissed-off Minato. I will answer your questions, then you will answer mine, understood? The first to speak was none other than the old Warhawk himself. I have 2 questions, if you don't mind Lord Hokage? Don't call me that yet, I still have to decide if this village is worth me leading, said a cold Namikaze. Well now I have 3 questions. First, how are you alive? You died 12 years ago? And you don't look a day older than that fateful night? Asked Danzo. When Orochimaru used Tobirama's resurrection jutsu, he somehow also got my soul removed from the death god's grasp, after Sarutobi sealed himself and the other 2 Hokages, along with Orochimaru's arms. The Shinigami told me that I was still active due to the fact the jutsu never truly ended. He said as long as I am noble and protect those that should be protected, he would let me live. Okay, now my second question, what do you plan to do with the demon container? He used the fox's power in his fight with the Hyuga and could be dangerous. I wish to take the boy and turn him into the weapon he was meant to be. As Danzo finished his statement, he felt overwhelmed by an absolutely massive amount of killing intent. If you, or anyone else touches a hair on that boy's head, I will personally make sure that person begs for death, said Minato in a cold, lethal tone. If I may Minato, why are you so defensive of that boy? Sure he's a great kid that even my daughter is friends with, but the way you defend him, it's like, Inoichi didn't get a chance to finish. I will defend him from you piles of shit because you all have caused enough trouble in his life. He's a hero and from everything I've heard, you would treat an enemy ninja better than you would the hero of this pathetic village. Shouted Minato, fuming with rage. Pathetic? You dare call this village pathetic? You're the Yellow Flash, why defend a demon over your own village? That was the last thing the short pudgy councilman ever said. Minato appeared behind him and put a Rasengan through his skull. Everyone was in shock. You just killed a councilman, yelled another councilman. I'll kill anyone who calls Naruto a demon, yelled Minato. This doesn't leave this room. Naruto was not an orphan, he is mine and Kushina's son. And if I hear of anyone in this room ever bad-mouthing my son again, I will not only kill you, but everyone you love. My son is a hero and will be treated as such. Everyone was speechless. The demon brat was their son of Minato Namikaze. How could they have been so stupid? He was like a mini-clone with whisker marks. At this time, Kakashi busted through the door. 3 Anbu trying their best to subdue him. Minato-sensei. Naruto is in the hospital. Come quick. And then, Kakashi puffed into a cloud of smoke. Everyone turned to Minato, but all they saw was a flash of yellow. Hospital. Minato shot through the doors of the hospital and blurred to the receptionist. What room is Naruto Uzumaki in? 216. Minato shot off to find his son. He reached the door and heard sobbing, expecting the worst. He burst into the room, only to find Naruto sleeping in his hospital bed and the sobs coming from Kakashi. What kind of man am I? I couldn't even tell how scarred my own student was, said a sobbing Kakashi. What happened? He look okay? Close the door and take a seat, said Kakashi. This isn't going to be easy. Kakashi recalled the whole event. Minato was in hell, but nothing was as bad as when Kakashi hanged into what Naruto looked like when he asked Kakashi to kill him. Minato was horrified. What could have happened to his son to make him like that? He had single-handedly won a war, he killed thousands of men, but what Kakashi had shown him was the single most horrifying thing that he had ever seen. Kakashi, we need to fix this. But how? Asked Minato. We could try and get his friends in here to talk to him, but I think you should talk to him first. He still doesn't believe that he's your son, and he seems to think that the village is going to kill him for using the Kyuubi chakra. I will when he wakes up, but what about the other stuff? He thinks that all the villagers hate him, and I think he's right, said a sad Minato. Maybe it's time the truth comes out, sensei? Let everyone know he's your son, pondered Kakashi. A light bulb came on in Minato's head. What if we train him to be the next Hokage? Once he's ready I can name him my successor? That way his lineage can be released and he won't be in trouble from Iwa. That could work? But does Naruto still want to be Hokage? Asked Kakashi. Just at that time, Naruto started to stir awake. He opened his eyes and to his relief, he was in the hospital. Thank God, the nightmare is over, said Naruto. Bad dream, son? Asked a new voice. Naruto looked over at the voice and saw the 4th Hokage. He was at first surprised, but it quickly turned back to depression. Here to kill me already, huh? Oh well, at least I get to be killed by my hero. Naruto went back to staring at the ceiling. Staring with the same dead eyes that Kakashi had shown Minato. Before Naruto knew what was happening, he was enveloped in a hug from the fourth Hokage. Why would I want my own son dead? I just got to meet you. Naruto said nothing, he just stared at the wall. He figured it was some kind of genjutsu or something. When he tried to dispel it, nothing happened. He tried again, and again the man was still hugging him, and it was still Minato Namikaze. You're not my father, said Naruto, shredding Minato's and Kakashi's hearts. There's no way you are. You're the yellow flash of Konoha. I am the demon that the people can take their anger out on. We can't be related. But we are, my son, and I promise that no one will hurt you again, said Minato. Naruto just sat there. He didn't know why, but he felt like it was the truth. He felt like he belonged in the fourth Hokage's arms, his father's arms. He started to weep. Daddy, don't leave me again. Never again, son, never again, said Minato, soothing Naruto. Now get some rest. Tomorrow is the first day of our new life, said Minato as he laid Naruto back and watched him drift to sleep. Tomorrow would be different indeed. Kakashi, I want you to track down all of Naruto's friends and tell them he will be available to have visitors tomorrow at 8 a.m. and throughout the day. I want to meet all of them face to face, said Minato. And bring anyone else that you see an ally of my son. I want to know all of them by the end day tomorrow. In 2 days will be Sarutobi's memorial. Kakashi just nodded and left, leaving father and son alone. Next day. The next day found both Naruto and Minato still in his hospital room, both asleep. It was 7:30 when Minato woke up. He had been awoken by an Anbu tapping on the glass of the window. He was being summoned to a council meeting. He told the Anbu that the council could blow it out their ass, and the Anbu left. It was 7:55 when Minato woke Naruto up and they got to know each other better till Naruto's first guest arrived. Much to Naruto's surprise, it was Ino. Ino? Asked a surprised Naruto. Are you looking for Shikamaru? He's 3 rooms over. No, I'm going to see Shika next, stated Ino before a brief pause. Is it true? Naruto tensed up. He saw no way for this to end well. Is what true? Is it true? Ino paused for a moment. That you beat that Gaara guy? Naruto was very relieved. He thought that everyone knew about the fox. Yay, I beat Gaara, but it was close, way too close. Naruto trailed off. Who told you? It couldn't have been Sakura. She's too infatuated with Sasuke to even begin to believe it wasn't Sasuke that beat Gaara. During his time talking with his father, he had figured out that Sakura had no interest in him. The fact that she didn't even check on him was proof of that. I heard Kakashi-sensei talking to Asuma-sensei about it, then he said. Ino didn't know if she should say it or not. She thought about it and said, Kakashi-sensei said that you took off your mask and that it would forever haunt him. Naruto got really sad. He didn't want his sensei to be haunted by him. Minato chimed in. Did Kakashi show Asuma? No, he said that he didn't wish that on anyone, said a confused Ino. Could you show me Naruto? If it was bad enough to freak out a war hero like Kakashi-sensei, then it must be pretty bad. You want to see it? Asked Naruto. Ino nodded. Naruto looked to his father who nodded. I understand if it's too much to handle, but be warned, you will never see me the same way. Ino once again nodded. Naruto looked down and removed the mask, then he looked Ino in the eyes. Ino thought it was going to be some horrible jutsu or that Naruto had a scar he kept hidden, but reality was much, much worse. Ino was expecting the bright vibrant blue eyes that Naruto had the entire time she had known him, eyes that she had started to like him for in the academy. What she saw horrified her. The smile he always carried was gone, all that was left was a thin line. His shoulders slumped and his head tilted down. But the worst part of all was his eyes. The once brilliant blue eyes of Naruto Uzumaki were now dark gray, completely void of any emotion, of any happiness. Devoid of any life. Ino felt like part of her was just ripped out. It was so horrible. How did anyone even know how to look like that? Naruto? Is that the mask that Kakashi-sensei was talking about? Naruto just looked away from her. No. The other me is the mask, this is the real me. But you've never looked like that before. Has everything been a lie? What happened? Thinking it no longer mattered anyway, Naruto spoke up. I've always put my friends before myself. If anyone saw this then it would make them sad. I'd rather live a lie than let my friends get hurt. And I won't tell you what happened, I don't want to live through it again. Why didn't you ever tell anyone? I'm sure that the academy teachers. They were part of it, everyone was. Said Naruto, still staring at the wall. I think you should go see Shikamaru. I'm sure he could use it, said Naruto, as he laid back down and turned away from the door. Ino took the hint and left. Naruto. What did happen? Asked a heartfelt Minato. Ever been beaten within an inch of your life? Minato just stared at his son, shocked by the coldness of his voice. I have, more times than I can count. 1 hour later, the next person to walk in was another wildcard, Inoichi, and he was pissed off. What did you do to my daughter? She came home crying her eyes out. She wouldn't tell me what it was, but she said she could never look at you again, half asked, half demanded the Yamanaka clan head. Naruto didn't even roll over. She asked to see me without my mask. I told her she didn't want to see it, she didn't listen. I don't believe you, show me, said Inoichi. Naruto rolled over, without the mask, and stared a hole right through his face. Inoichi fell no his knees, unable to breath. What? How? Get out of my room. 2 hours later, Sasuke asked Naruto. It wasn't unthinkable his teammate would come see him, but it was extremely unlikely. Hey Dobi, it wasn't said in hate like usual, but more in a respectful way, more in a brotherly way. What's up Teme? You're the last person I expected. I just came to see if you were alive, and I have a couple questions for you. Ask away. How did you get so strong? You were the dead last in our class and now you're the strongest of all of us? How? I wish I could tell you. I just push myself past my limits and fight for other people. I guess that's what does it. I would say you're full of crap, but after your fight with Gaara I can't bring myself to do it. My next question is, could you help me train? Naruto was shocked. You want me to help you train? Sasuke just nodded. I guess I could, but it will be a while before I can help. I am kinda bedridden. Don't take too long, I want to get stronger, and fast. Sasuke headed for the door but stopped just before leaving. Thanks, and with that he left. Sorry Naruto, but I have something to take care of, I'll be back as soon as possible, said Minato as he left in a flash of yellow. Unknown location. So it's true, you are back from the dead, I'm glad to see it, Lord Hokage. As am I. It has been far too long. Lord Hokage, what have I told you both about calling me that, Kisame? Itachi? -2 days later. It had been a hectic 2 days for everyone involved. Minato had reluctantly retaken the hat of Hokage. Naruto was released from the hospital. Minato had issued him an Anbu guardian to help him move from his apartment to the Namikaze mansion. A very large 3-story house that could almost be a compound. And if that weren't enough, then Sarutobi's funeral had put it over the edge. The funeral was long and sad. About halfway through the proceedings it started to rain. Council room, day of funeral. Minato, please reconsider. The village needs a strong Hokage. Pleaded a nameless councilman from the civilian side. I must agree with him, stated Hiyashi Hyuga. I know you don't want to do too. But please at least think about doing it for those of us who tried to help him, or at least were impartial. It was true, almost everyone on the shinobi side had tried to help him. Even Hiyashi had been behind Naruto anytime he got in trouble, but the civilian side had gone out of their way to make his life hell. If I agree, started Minato, it will be to my liking. I am going to take every bit of power you all took from Sarutobi back. You can regain it by following orders and doing your jobs. Agreed, I don't like having all this responsibility anyway, said Shikaku Nara lazily. I also accept, the Akamichi clan is behind you, my old friend, said Shusa Akamichi. Although I dislike losing what I have gained, the Hyuga clan also accepts, stated Heishi. Shibi Aburame just nodded. The Inuzuka clan also accepts, though I do have a question for you later, if you don't mind, stated Sume. After what I saw yesterday, stated Inoichi Yamanaka, I am fully for the pulling of power from the council, anyone that. He couldn't finish his statement, just the memory of Naruto without his mask made him sick. I completely understand Inoichi, said Minato, I accept, I will become Hokage again, but I have much to take care of before I'm sworn in. First, in 1 week, my son is to leave with Jiraiya sensei for as long as it takes to bring back their target. During that time I will settle any business that I must take care of. At the time they come back, I will take the title of Hokage. Any questions? What do you plan to do about the Chunin exams? Are we going to promote anyone? Asked Shusa. Both Shikamaru Nara and Naruto Uzumaki Namikaze did win their match? And with their performance during the invasion, from what I've heard, Naruto along with the Toad boss Gamabunta, defeated the Tsunade Jinchuriki. I will look over all reports of the invasion and the Chunin exams. If I find anyone who did in fact earn the rank of Chunin, I will promote them. Stated Minato. Will you take an apprentice? Asked the most hated woman in the village, Kono Haruno. Most likely yes, but I will have to pick one, for my son is already an apprentice of Jiraiya. Stated Minato. Might I suggest? No, stated Minato. I already have a good idea of who, if anyone, I will choose. May we know who you are thinking about? Asked a, for once, interested Shikaku. Now where's the fun in that? Smiled Minato. Now unless there's anything else, I have to go get my son from the hospital for the funeral. You coming, Shikaku? Troublesome, said Shikaku as he got up and followed Minato out the door. Hospital, Naruto's room. Naruto had already changed into his street clothes and was waiting for his father to come sign him out so he could go home. He had had few visitors during his in the hospital. There was Iruka, who had just left, Kakashi, who stayed as long as he could before his mission, Asuma, who had come to see if the kid was alright after his talk with Kakashi, Mike Guy, who spent most of his visit shouting something about Naruto's flaming youth, Sasuke, who had stopped by a second time to keep Naruto company. When asked why he said, I'd rather hang out with my dobe of a friend than anyone else in this village. And the most surprising was Ino. She had come by on her lunch break and gave Naruto a bouquet of good luck flowers before leaving. What Naruto had not noticed though, was the slight blush when she said her goodbye. Naruto was sitting on the edge of his bed, talking to his friend, Sasuke sitting in the chair across from him. I'm surprised she didn't gush over you when she saw you. That and the fact she even came to see me, stated Naruto. Me too, though I'm not going to complain. One less fangirl in my life is a blessing. Now if only I could get them all to turn to your side, smirked Sasuke. What do you mean, turn to my side? Why would they be my fans? You're the last Uchiha and everyone thinks that you beat Gaara. Said Naruto downtrodden. Why would they think that? I beat his sister, not him? Asked Sasuke, still a little sore that his friend was stronger than him. And you beat Neji, from what I heard. Because no one would believe that the village idiot could beat a paper bag, let alone a monster like Gaara, said a still bummed Naruto. Why did you say monster like that? He tried to kill both of us and was about to kill Sakura. He is a monster, stated the Uchiha. No, he's not a monster. He was alone in this world, abandoned and abused. He's like me, said a suddenly depressed Naruto. What's got you down, son? Said the new voice of Minato as he walked into the room. He spotted Sasuke, already in his funeral clothes. You're signed out, let's go get ready. Naruto just nodded and walked over to his father. Minato looked to Sasuke, who was about to leave and said, Sasuke, you're welcome to come with us since you're already dressed. Besides, I still have to look at that seal I was told about. I might as well, if anyone can get this damn thing off it's you, said Sasuke. Then come over here, we can take the fast way, said Minato. He grabbed both boys in the shoulder and all three disappeared in a yellow flash. Next day, Namikaze Mansion. Naruto, I think it's time I made you my apprentice. I've talked it over with Jiraiya and we have worked out a dual apprenticeship for you. Stated Minato. So I would be both your apprentices? Asked Naruto. Yep, because Jiraiya has an obligation to handle his spy network. He can't train you full-time, so you will train with both of us. Said a happy Minato. Does that mean I get to learn all your cool moves and stuff? Asked a starry-eyed Naruto. Yep, and we're going to start work on one of my jutsu today, said Minato. Cool. Is it the one where you can teleport? No, that will most likely be the last one I teach you. Your body needs to be fully developed for that jutsu, otherwise it can have some nasty side effects, stated Minato. So what am I going to learn? Asked Naruto. This, Minato said as he started to swirl chakra in his hand. As it spun faster and faster it formed into a fist-sized ball of bluish-white spinning chakra that was making a quiet grinding, whistling noise. That's so cool, yelled Naruto. How do you do that? There's no hand signs or anything. It's pure chakra control and manipulation. You do everything yourself, stated Minato. Aw crap, my chakra control is terrible. I'm screwed, whined Naruto. You'll do fine, reassured Minato. There's a 3-step training process that will iron out any problems. But I think I'll have you do the training a bit differently. Why? And how is it different? Asked Naruto. Normally the training is learning the spiral, then getting down and combining them in your palm, explained Minato. Then what am I going to do? Asked Naruto. You're going to learn it by making one in each hand, that way you can always make one, even if you're holding a kunai, or a sword, Minato explained. Cool, but I don't use a sword, exclaimed Naruto. That's what we're going to work on next, though it won't be for a while. It took me 3 years to create this jutsu. It took a couple of months for Jiraiya to learn it, and I still don't think Kakashi has it down, Minato trailed off. Man, if Kakashi-sensei can't get it down, I probably can't either, claimed a depressed Naruto. Naruto, I know that most of our idiot villagers hate you for reasons you can't control, started Minato, but everyone I've talked to does, Kakashi, Iruka, Jiraiya. They're supposed to like me and believe in me, they're my teachers, responded a very down Naruto. What about Inoichi, Shuza, Guy, Shikaku? What are you talking about? They're not my teachers? Asked a confused Naruto. Minato face-palmed. No, they're not your teachers, but they all have faith in you. What do you mean? They've never said that to me? Asked Naruto. Shuza, Inoichi and Shikaku all put your name on the Chunin promotion list. Guy said that your flaming youth was some of the brightest he's ever seen, and even Hiyashi Hyuga said that you've got the ability to become great. And that was before any of them knew I was your father. Really? Asked a truly happy Naruto. Every word, Minato said with pride. Hey dad, what is flaming youth, anyway? Asked Naruto. I couldn't tell you. You should ask him? Come to think of it. His dad used to always talk about flaming youth as well. Minato commented with a shiver. If you think Guy is eccentric, well, at least Guy wears underwear with his spandex. And Guy doesn't do squat thrusts in public. Wow. Yay. -5 minutes later, Namikaze basement. The basement was split up into 4 areas. The first was a magnificent library full of literature, history books and jutsu scrolls. The next was a study area, office where someone could read or write, though Minato used it to work on his seals. The third area was a small hot spring that vented into a small opening at the side of the house. It could fit 5 to 6 people. The last area was the training area, armory. This is where we find the soon-to-be world-famous blonde duo. Naruto was listening. Minato explained the first step of the Rasengan. So all I have to do is pop this balloon by spinning my chakra? Asked Naruto. Trust me, it's a lot harder than you think, said Minato. Naruto took a water balloon in each hand and spun his chakra as hard as he could, only for the balloons to deform but not break. It won't work if I just spin the chakra, would it? Asked Naruto. Wow, got it in one, I'm very impressed, stated Minato. Naruto thought for a minute. If spinning it in one direction doesn't work, I'll spin it a bunch of directions. Naruto did just that, and after about 3 seconds both balloons exploded. What? It took Jiraiya like a week to do that. Minato almost shouted. Well, when you showed me your Rasengan it looked like a bunch of little wires going in almost every direction, and you said just spinning my chakra wouldn't work, so I figured I'd try and spin it every direction, stated Naruto. Wow, my son is a genius. Maybe it will work, Minato said to himself. What will work? Asked Naruto. Nothing, just talking to myself, Minato stated. You remind me of that weasel guy that used to help me sometimes? Stated Naruto. Weasel guy? Asked Minato. Yay, he was an ANBU, he had a weasel mask and really cool eyes. He talked to himself too, exclaimed Naruto, remembering one of the happier moments in his childhood. Cool eyes? What do you mean? Asked an intrigued Minato. They were red with black things like Sasuke has, but he had 3 things in each eye, stated Naruto. Itachi? Minato asked himself under his breath. Itachi? You mean like Sasuke's brother? Asked Naruto. I'm not sure. Oh well, onto the next part of the Rasengan, said a grinning Minato. He unsealed 2 rubber balls from the same scroll he got the water balloons from. Hey dad, how do you do that? It's cool, said Naruto, pointing at the scroll that Minato was holding. What, seal and unseal things? It's called Fuinjutsu, answered Minato. What else can it do? asked a rambunctious Naruto. It can do anything you want, as long as you're smart enough to figure out which symbols and kanji to use, stated a proud Minato. Can you teach me? I want to know how to do that stuff, begged Naruto. Of course I can, I was going to anyway. It's a very good skill to have after all. We can get to it after the Kenjutsu training, stated a very happy Minato. His son was the perfect combination of him and Kushina. But that's going to take forever. Isn't there any way to speed up the training? Asked Naruto. Do you know the Shadow Clone Jutsu? -2 days later, Naruto had just gotten to the point of combining the first 2 steps to complete the Rasengan, but there was a problem. Come on, why can't I get the last step? Shouted Naruto as he once again lost control of the Rasengan in his left hand. Naruto. Try making a Rasengan in just your left hand, said a curious Minato. His son got the first step on his first try, and he could blow up both rubber balls after just a day of trying. It was true, Naruto truly was a genius when it came to learning anything and immediately putting it to use. Why was he dead last in his classes? From what I'm seeing, he should have blown everyone out of the water. Could it be that even the teachers were against him? Okay Dad, I'll try. Naruto started to form the Rasengan in his hand. It was almost formed when it started to deform and then, it dispersed. What am I doing wrong? I am doing it exactly like the one in my right hand? Don't know? Stated a confused Minato. You could try spinning it the other way? He joked. No sooner than Minato said it, Naruto attempted it. Much to both Minato's and Naruto's shock, it worked. Unbelievable. This whole time. Just spinning it the wrong way? Sputtered Minato. Does this mean I can move on to Kenjutsu? Asked an already hyper Naruto. Why yeah, but let's get some lunch first. I haven't seen Tucci in a while, stated Minato as he walked up the stairs. -10 minutes later, Ichiraku's ramen stand. Hey old man, I'll have the usual, yelled Naruto as he entered the stand. Tucci didn't even have to turn around. I was wondering when you would get here. It was lonely without our best customer. This was when Minato decided to chime in. It's busy work to train with me, but I am sure you remember that. Tucci shot around and appeared in front of the pair of blondes, Minato. It's true, you have returned. Someone had to take care of Naruto, said Minato with a hint of venom. I am glad to see you back, and don't worry, this one's on the house, said the old man. How do you know old man Ichiraku? This stand opened when I was 2? Asked a confused Naruto. I was Hokage, remember? I knew all my ninja, especially the ones from my genin team, said Minato with a smile. Old man was a ninja? Asked Naruto. Not just a ninja, he was the best swordsman at the village. He could even go toe-to-toe with one of the 7 swordsmen of the mist, stated Minato. Who's to say I am not that good anymore? I bet I could put you whippersnappers in your place, said Tucci as he gave them their first bowls. Perfect, said Minato. You can start tomorrow. What am I starting tomorrow? Asked the confused ramen chef. Naruto wants to learn some Kenjutsu, and since you're the best I know that's still alive. Minato drifted off, thinking of his beloved wife. I accept and I understand Minato. I would be thrilled to teach my craft to your boy. It's just a shame he can't use Kushina's sword, stated a saddened Tucci. Yes, I heard about that. It was destroyed in a storage fire in the Hokage's safe. Such a shame, that was a masterpiece, stated a sad Minato. What sword? Mom had a sword? Asked Naruto quietly so no one would hear it but his father and his new sensei. Yes, it was a masterpiece of weaponized seals. Your father made it himself with the help of Tenin, stated Tucci. Seals? Like Fuinjutsu? Asked Naruto. Correct, her sword was very unique, stated Minato. I can show you later when we go pick up your gift later. -25 minutes later, Shinobi's Best Weapons store. Welcome to, Minato, yelled the large man behind the weapons counter. Hello Tenin, how have you been? I have a couple of projects for you, greeted Minato. I've been great. What was this project you had for me? Asked the large weapons maker. 3 projects actually. I need another set of my kunai, and Naruto could use a set of his own, stated Minato. Well, I can make yours no problem, but what does Naruto want? It's obvious he wants his own custom kunai, stated Tenten's father. And what's the last one? You said 3? I get my own custom kunai? Awesome, cheered Naruto. Of course you do, said the weapons maker. you're going to need them for that jutsu. Yeah, said Minato. I'm not giving you my kunai when I teach you it. And it would be cool if my son's kunai could be just as famous as mine. Then it's settled, I'll make a couple of prototypes for you to choose from by the end of the week. Now what about that third project? Asked Tenon. We're going to remake Kushina's sword. I want it styled after Naruto's Hiraishin kunai, stated Minato in a mix of pride and sadness. Ah yes, I will do that one free of charge. It's not every day you can claim a masterpiece, claimed the weapons maker with a gleam in his eye. Come back at the end of the week, I should be done with my prototypes. -3 hours later, Namikaze Mansion. It was about 4 o'clock in the afternoon when there was a knock at the door. Minato and Naruto just stared at each other, silently wondering who it could be. They were sitting down in the study, just enjoying each other's company. Minato was working on some paperwork to legally claim Naruto as his son, and Naruto was practicing his dual Rasengan. Minato got up and headed up the stairs to see who it was knocking at the door. I swear to God if it's another summons to a council meeting, he thought as he approached and opened the door. What he found shocked him slightly. Ino Yamanaka. Oh, Lord Hokage, I must have the wrong address, I'll be on my way, stated a shocked Yamanaka as she turned around and began to walk away. Looking for Naruto? Asked the Hokage with a sly smile. Why yes sir, I went to his apartment this morning, but it was empty. The landlord gave me this address, said a still scared Ino. Relax Ino, it's okay, and you don't have to call me sir, I'm just like every other human being, stated Minato with a very calming smile. Now go on inside, I have to go see a bowl cut about a fire. Naruto is downstairs, first door on the right. And with that, he left down in a flash of yellow, leaving the door wide open. Ino was hesitant, this was the home of the fourth, wasn't it? But he did invite her in. She walking slowly into the home and shut the door behind her. She scanned the room, it was an amazingly decorated living room, on the wall to her left was a spiral staircase. She remembered that the Hokage said that Naruto was downstairs, so she made her way to the basement. She headed to the room that was supposed to have Naruto in it, only to find it empty. She was looking around the rest of the basement when she heard Naruto. Ah damn it, I forgot a towel. It came from the room that was on the far end of the basement. Figuring that Naruto was just working out, Ino entered the room, only to find Naruto sitting in a hot spring. Completely naked, she shot out of the room and slammed the door shut. Who was that? Ino, yelled out the young Yamanaka. Sorry, I didn't know. Yay, we can talk about why you're here later, but first, can you get me a towel? I forgot mine outside the door, said a completely calm Naruto. Ino picked up the towel, cracked the door open, and held out the towel. She heard Naruto get out of the water and walk over toward the door, grabbing the towel from Ino. After about a minute, Naruto walked out, towel around his waist and grunted, and he took my clothes. He is Sue getting pranks for this. Who took your clothes? My da the Hokage did, covered Naruto as he walked over to the stairs. You can sit in the study if you want. I need to get some clothes, otherwise this is going to get even more awkward than it already is. Ino's mind was racing, she was staring at Naruto's torso, his 100% chiseled torso. All she could do was nod and walked into the room Naruto had pointed at. She was completely dumbfounded. Has he always looked like that? She asked herself out loud. He's got an 8-pack. I didn't even know that was possible. He's so hot, how come I never saw it sooner? Was it because of that stupid jumpsuit he wears? And what did I see in the hot spring? Well, me naked for one. Ino jumped at the sound of Naruto's voice. She looked at the doorway to see Naruto in blue shinobi pants and a tight ninja mesh shirt. Now, what did you need? Asked Naruto very politely. Well, no one has seen you for a while, said Ino. I was just checking on you is all. What's up with you? You never used to even talk to me, let alone care about me. Asked a confused Naruto. Well, after I watched your match against Neji. And you beat Gaara. And then your eyes. Ino's eyes started to water as she made less and less sense. Naruto knew she was about to cry. He hated seeing anyone sad. He walked over and hugged the young Yamanaka. Ino buried her face in Naruto's shoulder and started weeping. What's wrong, Ino? Why are you sad? Asked Naruto. Ino was bawling her eyes out. Every couple breaths she would talk. You. Nice always so, nice and kind. You always. help your friends, but from what my dad said, it was like looking death in the face. Your eyes. Oh my God, what happened to your wonderful eyes? What could have possibly done that? She was sobbing uncontrollably. Naruto didn't know what to do. It was him that was making her miserable. Do I tell her? I don't know if she can handle it, thought Naruto. Ino, please stop crying, it's not your fault, none of it is. Yes it is. You're such a great guy, but all I've ever done was make fun of you. I'm just as much to blame as anyone, cried Ino. No, you're not. The worst thing you've ever done to me was make fun of me, said a reassuring Naruto. He went on to tell her his life story, having the fox sealed inside him, every beating, maiming, every insult, overcharge and even the assassination attempts. When he was done, Ino looked horrified. Her face was pale, her makeup was all but gone from all the crying. But what scared her the most was that the whole time Naruto was talking, he had been calm. Like he was talking about the weather, like he was either so used to it that it didn't bother him, or he was just emotionally dead. How are you able to go on? Asked a frightened Ino. Had any of what happened to Naruto happened to her, she would have given up a long time ago. I already told you, I care far more about others than I do about myself. As long as my friends are happy, then in happy, nothing else matters, that's why I will become Hokage, I will protect my precious people. Stated Naruto. Ino was shocked, he really meant it. He would do anything he had to do to save his friends. He went into a battle against a tailed beast, with no backup and fought till they both collapsed. And he didn't think it was even that special. He fought of a demon to defend his friends in the village, and everyone thought it was Sasuke that did it. And Naruto? Ino was timid. Why do you like Sakura? If you had asked a month ago, I would have spewed a bunch of shit about Go, she was perfect. Stated Naruto with a small smile. But now, I don't like her anymore. What? But you're crazy over her? Stated Ino. Ino, let's say you like this guy, but all this guy does is ignore you, beat you up, reject you, and call you worthless. Would you still like that guy? No, I would want a guy more like you, she stated softly. What? Why a guy like me? Why not a guy like Sasuke? Asked a very confused Naruto. I used to, but then I got to know you better. You're the perfect 10 on the boyfriend scale, you're nice, kind, caring, you defend your friends, you're strong. You're the guy the first want to be with Naruto, said a very quiet Ino. What? What are you talking about? I'm Naruto Nami Uzumaki. Everyone hate me. Why would you want a guy like me? Questioned a very confused Naruto. Because, you're the greatest guy the first. No, I just want to be with you. You've put yourself last your whole life. I want to help you heal, said a pleading Ino. Why? What makes me so great? I'm not the last Uchiha? I'm not some genius? I was the dead last. And yet you're the one who sprinted head on at everything that has ever even threatened to hurt the ones you care about. You're amazing, yelled Ino. Well, if I'm so great, then why do— He never got the chance to finish his sentence. He was cut off by the full lips of Ino Yamanaka. She pressed her lips into his. She grabbed the back of his head and separated from him. Any more questions? Naruto shook his head no, and they went back to kissing. Well, this was unexpected. You two should get a room, and preferably not one of mine. Both young blondes shot up to see a very amused Yondaime Hokage. Dad, what the hell? Yelled Naruto. If you haven't noticed, my boy, you're in my study, and if you're going to suck face with your girlfriend in my home, you should at least introduce us, smiled Minato, in 3, 2, 1. Did you just call the Yondaime, Dad? Ino almost yelled. Hee. Yay, Ino, this is my father, Minato. Dad, this is Ino Yamanaka, said an embarrassed Naruto. Pleased to fully meet you, Ino, and yes, I am Naruto's father, but it would be nice if you keep that quiet until we announce it, asked the still grinning Minato. Oh, and you're welcome to come with us for dinner, we're going out for ramen. Next day, Namikaze Mansion. There were 3 people in the basement of the Namikaze home. First was Minato, next was Naruto, and the last was Sasuke, screaming and in an enormous amount of pain. He was finally having his curse mark removed. Hold on one more minute, Sasuke. We're almost done, shouted Minato as he was drawing out the last of the seal. As the last bit of seal was neutralized, a small white snake shot out of Sasuke's shoulder and tried to slither away. Rasengan! Yelled Naruto as he crushed the small snake under the ball of rotating chakra. There was a hissing sound that came from the snake, and when Naruto stopped the jutsu, there was no sign of the snake, it had dissolved. "Get Sasuke up to a guest room. I'm going to clean all this up," stated Minato. "Got it," said Naruto as he picked up Sasuke and threw him over his shoulder. "Will he be okay?" "Should be, he's just exhausted right now," stated Minato. Naruto just nodded and headed upstairs. "Hello, little brother," said the always stoic Itachi. I'll kill you," shouted Sasuke in a rage, only to find out that he was tied down and had a chakra suppression seal on his forehead. "Well, that's about what I expected," came the new voice of the Yondaime. "Good thing we took precautions, Itachi?" What's going on?" asked a frightened Sasuke. "You set me up." "Foolish little brother," stated Itachi, "I'm going to have a lot of explaining to do." "He'll handle that, he will take it better coming from the top," said Minato. "You have your assignment, if you go now you'll probably make it back in time." Itachi just bowed and left the room. Sasuke was flinging profanities like a monkey throws. "You get the idea." "Sasuke, I don't know how to be gentle about this, so I'm just going to say it," stated Minato. Sasuke shut up. He wanted to hear what could possibly make the Hokage align with the man who killed off 99% of the Uchiha clan. "You were lied to? I was lied to? How could I be lied to? He killed my whole clan," shouted Sasuke. "First, he killed all the ninjas in the clan, someone else killed the rest." "You lie, he did it, he made me watch as he did it," cried out Sasuke. "No, I'm not, but there is someone who lied to you." Yamanaka home. Ino was sleeping soundly. She finally had a boy in her life that gave her more than just the cold shoulder when she laid it all out for him. But she couldn't help that something was off. "Wake up," said a voice that was firm and even that stirred Ino from her slumber. When she finally opened her eyes, she saw an older teenager. "I have a few questions to ask you, miss. Please don't scream, I don't want to have you silence you." Ino was about to scream her heart out, but there was something about the man was putting her at ease. The way he asked for her to stay quiet wasn't a threat, or even a demand, it was a plea. "Thank you for not screaming, I don't wish to hurt you, but I have a mission, and I must complete it," stated the taller teen as he sat on the ground with his back against the wall. "What mission?" asked the confused but calm blonde. "I must protect my little brother at all costs. I must know what your intentions are with Naruto Namikaze," asked the teen. "How do you know Naruto's real name?" "Naruto doesn't have a brother." "Who are you?" asked Ino, starting to get frightened. "I cannot tell you how I know his name, or my real name, but I can tell you that he is indeed my little brother, just not in blood. You may call me my old Anbu name, Weasel," said Weasel. "What do you want with Naruto?" asked a concerned Ino. "The question is, what do you want with Naruto?" asked Weasel. "What do you mean?" asked Ino. "Why the sudden interest in him? I believed you to be a fangirl of the Uchiha." "I like him, I might even love him." Ino trailed off in thought. "Why?" asked Weasel. "What do you mean why? I need a reason to like a boy?" asked Ino in defiance. "Normal, no," stated Weasel, "but Naruto is special case." "And why is he a special case? Because people look down on him? Because almost everyone in this village hates him?" asked Ino, gaining more and more anger. "So you like him because he's a bad boy? Are you his fangirl, no?" asked Weasel. "No, I'm done being a fangirl. I like him because he needs people to look out for him," exclaimed Ino. "So you pity him? Is that it why you like him?" asked Weasel. "No, I like Naruto for Naruto. He's nice, kind, he puts others first, even before himself. And he's strong," stated Ino with hearts in her eyes. "So you like him for him, huh? Wouldn't happen to be because Sasuke rejects you, would it?" asked Weasel. He figured that was a sore spot for the young Yamanaka, which was why he was so surprised by the response he got from the girl. "No, in fact I should probably thank him for rejecting me. If he hadn't I probably would have followed him instead of finding Naruto," stated Ino. "So you really do like him, huh? It's not just some fangirl phase that will fizzle out?" asked Weasel. "Yes, I like him. He was my first kiss after all. And he's so nice, I'm just glad I found him. I don't know if there's anyone else in the world like him. He's a hero in every sense of the word," said Ino dreamily. "A hero? How is he a hero?" "He's the demon that almost destroyed Konoha." Weasel pretended to be hateful to Naruto. "He is not a demon. He's the hero that protects this village every day. It's the people like you that are the demons." Ino was enraged. Was this what everyone thought of the boy she's come to like? It's good to see you're not just using him, or like him out of pity. It will be much easier to fulfill my mission now that I know this, stated Weasel. Oh, and my name is Itachi. And with that he poofed out of existence. Itachi? Where have I heard that name before? Back with Sasuke and Minato. Do you know a man named Danzo? Asked Minato. Yeah, he used to come to visit me after Itachi murdered my clan, stated a slightly confused Sasuke. That twisted son of a. He was the man who ordered Itachi to kill all the ninja in your clan, along with both of Sandame's advisors, said Minato, completely serious. You lie. He did it to test his skill, he told me himself. Yelled an enraged Sasuke. I'm going to give you the mission report and untie you. Read it and come see me. I will be in the kitchen, said Minato. He untied Sasuke's arms and handed him the file, then he left. Hyuga compound. Wake up please. Just like the last girl. Hinata slowly stirred awake. But unlike Ino, Hinata could see in the dark because of her Kekkei Genkei. But it was a teen she had never seen before. Please don't yell. I mean you no harm. I have a few questions for you and I will leave, said a calm and caring voice. Hinata didn't know why, but she felt calm by him. Thank you for not yelling. It will make this go much more smoothly, as he sat down and leaned against the wall. What can I help you with? Asked the timid girl. Why do you like Naruto? Asked the teen. What? Asked the stunned Hyuga. I asked what your reason was for liking Naruto, stated the kind teen. I like him because he never give up. He's determined and he proves everyone wrong, stated Hinata. Why do you like those qualities? Asked the teen. Because it shows me that I can be like him as well, I can be strong, said the blushing Hinata. So you like him as a friend? Asked Itachi. What? She was shocked. What you just said sounded like he was a great friend to have. Someone you can draw strength from, stated the teen. No, I like him more than that. I love him, claimed the Hyuga. Do you? What do you feel when you think about him? When you look at him? Asked the kind teen. I feel hopeful, stated Hinata. Hopeful for what? Asked the teen. Hopeful that he would see me, that he would come help me, said Hinata. Help you? How would he help you? Asked the teen. Because, he did it himself. I know he likes me. He has too, claimed the Hyuga, and why is that? Has Naruto ever shown any feelings towards you other than friendship? Asked the teen. No, but he will. I love him. He must love me back, spouted Hinata. Why must he love you back? Asked the teen. Because he needs to. I will do whatever it takes to make his heart mine. She was getting bolder and bolder. Even at the cost of his happiness? Asked the teen. What? Why wouldn't he be happy with me? I love him, accused Hinata. If your father set you up to marry, say, Sasuke Uchiha, would you be happy? Asked the teen. No, explained the Hyuga. And why not? Asked the teen. Because I don't like him, said Hinata. And what if Naruto doesn't like you? Asked the teen. He does. I know he does, yelled Hinata. I can assure you, while he may like you as a friend, that is as far as it goes, said the teen. Then it'll change. I know everything about him. It'll just make myself more appealing to him, claimed the Hyuga. How do you know everything about him? Asked the teen, anger growing in his voice. I've always been there, I've seen every part of his life, claimed Hinata. Do you stalk him? Asked the teen, voice filled with confusion and anger. No, I follow him around, and I will until he loves me. Hinata was almost psychotic in the way she was talking. It will never happen now. You need help, Hinata, yelled the teen as he was enveloped in a puff of smoke, reviling himself to be none other than Naruto. Until you get help and break yourself of these stalking fangirl ways of yours, I will never interact with you unless we are on a mission. Is that clear? Naruto, how could you say that? I love you, cried Hinata. You're a fangirl and a stalker, two things I don't need in my life. And with that, Naruto poofed out of existence, leaving a sobbing Hinata. Namikaze residence, living room. It was about 1 o'clock in the morning. Minato was sitting at the table in the kitchen, writing up a new training schedule for Naruto. They were going to experiment with shadow clone training, but with a twist. Right as Minato finished the schedule for the week after Naruto got back from his mission, the kitchen door opened. Minato, expecting Sasuke, got ready for whatever hellstorm was about to come wafting in. The Uchiha came in and took a seat across from Minato. I trust the mission is complete? Asked Minato. Yes, but with rather good results, answer Itachi. Minato smirked, care to fill me in? I believe the Yamanaka's feelings are genuine. She even threatened me when I revealed I knew his true name. She can be very protective, answered a smiling Itachi. That is very good to hear. The last thing Naruto needs right here is someone lying to him or using him, stated Minato. What of the Hyuga? I thought you had someone else covering that? When I got there, there was already someone questioning her, stated a confused Itachi. I didn't send anyone but you. Quick. Go get Naruto, commanded Minato. Itachi just nodded and left to go fetch Naruto. About 20 seconds after Itachi left, Sasuke walked in, with an unforeseen emotion on his face. He was happy? Sasuke walked over and sat down in front of Minato. Is it all true? Asked a somewhat somber Sasuke, even though he was still smiling. From what I can tell and what I've been told, yes, answer Minato with a calculating look. If you don't mind me asking, why do you seem happy? Even though I've been lied to, and have suffered. My brother's a hero. He stopped an uprising that would have started a civil war, smiled Sasuke, before it turned to a scowl. In the report, it said that 10 bodies were never recovered. Does that mean that other people got out? You would have to ask your brother, answered Minato, as if on cue. Itachi walked in holding a piece of paper. He walked over and handed it to Minato. Itachi, watch my home please. I have to go deal with my dimwit of a son. And with that, the soon-to-be Hokage disappeared in a yellow flash. Itachi and Sasuke sat on opposite sides of the table, staring at each other. Itachi was the one to break the silence. I'm sorry, Sasuke. I'm sorry for all you've gone through. All I've put you through. But please understand that it needed to be done, stated Itachi. He was hanging his head. Itachi, I have a few questions for you. If you answer all of them, I might forgive you. On the outside Sasuke was completely serious, but on the inside he was smirking. He already forgave his brother. Hell, he might even thank him for it, but he was going to make Itachi sweat first. Who helped you? I want to know. I will tell you when Minato gets back. He needs to know that one as well, stated a slightly stunned Itachi. His brother might forgive him? Fair enough. Why do you know Naruto and the Yondaime so well? Asked Sasuke. Our mother and Naruto's mother were best friends. Minato was my babysitter sometimes, and was even there the day you were born. As for Naruto, the Sandaime assigned both me and Kakashi to watch over him to make sure nothing bad happened to him, explained Itachi, cringing at an old memory of rescuing Naruto from a mob on his 3rd birthday. What do you mean, something bad? Was he always a prankster? Asked a smirking Sasuke. No, I can't tell you exactly what caused Naruto his hellish life, but I can tell you how bad it was. Itachi sighed and held back tears. Something Sasuke noticed. I was assigned from the day I was placed in Anbu till the day I was assigned that, he pointed at the file on the table. I was part of a 4-man team, whose sole mission was to act as guards for Naruto. The only surviving members are me and Kakashi. Each of the guards were at least a rank ninja. We needed to be. I alone stopped 152 assassination attempts. What? He was attacked 152 times. Sasuke was surprised anyone could be hated that much. What could he have done? No, I stopped 152 attempts. I was only on the squad for a year and a half. I believe by the time I was reassigned there had been somewhere around 2,500 attempts over his 8 years of life. It came out to about 1 a day, stated a very depressed Itachi. Sasuke was in shock. Naruto, his best friend, rival, had had a worse childhood than he had. How could he stay so happy and carefree? Sasuke felt sick. All this time, he thought it was Naruto who couldn't understand his pain, but it was the other way around. There was no possible way that Sasuke would ever know how bad Naruto had it. I have to make it up to him. I've always treated him so bad. Apology accepted, came a new voice from the other side of the kitchen. It was Naruto, in all his orange jumpsuit glory, but I need to know how to get rid of stalkers and fangirls. Next day, Namikaze Mansion, 7 in the morning. Naruto, Itachi and Minato had just got done discussing what they found out last night. Itachi informed Naruto that Ino had pretty much proven that she was there for him and for the right reasons. Naruto was mad at his father and Itachi for meddling in his personal life, but after he found out about Hinata last night, he thanked them for being in his side. Speaking of Hinata, she was slowly coming to grips with driving Naruto away. She convinced herself that as long as she stopped following him around and gave it time, he would give her another chance. Sasuke was still asleep. He was mentally exhausted after everything that happened the day before. First the curse mark was removed, then he learned the truth behind his brother and the massacre, and to top it all off, he found out his best friend, rival, surrogate brother had had an absolutely terrible life, and was still pushing through. We find Minato, Itachi, Jiraiya and Naruto all sitting around dining room table, eating breakfast and describing their new plans. So me and the brat are going to go find Suheim, and while we are looking Naruto is going to work on element manipulation? Sounds good to me, stated Jiraiya. I will get my brother access to the secret Uchiha vaults and show him the ropes of some of the hard stuff. Then I'm going to meet up with Kisame and once more defend Konoha from the shadows. I will meet once or twice a month with either Jiraiya-san or Hokage-san to relay any information I gather, stated Itachi. I will get everything set up for when Jiraiya and Naruto get back with Tsunade. In the meantime I will help train Sasuke along with Kakashi. Hopefully that way when we get Tsunade back everything will flow just a little bit better, stated Minato. So I find this Tsunade, come back and I get announced as your son? And I get to learn element manipulation? Cool. I like this plan already, commented Naruto, eager to move on to more training. Now that everything is settled, Naruto, you and Jiraiya-sensei get ready to hit the road, your mission starts now. Itachi, go wake up Sasuke and get moving. I will write up the documents so that it looks like I got into the vault, ordered Minato. Minus 30 minutes later, Uchiha Library. Both Itachi and Sasuke were standing in front of a rather ordinary bookshelf at the back of the Uchiha Library. Sasuke didn't know what was going on, but Itachi had said that what was about to destroy your life, or breathe new life into you. Sasuke didn't know what that meant, but he was willing to listen to his brother. Itachi activated his Sharingan and told Sasuke to do the same. He did, and all of a sudden, a book from the shelf disappeared. Itachi slid his hand into the slot the book used to be and flared his chakra. This caused the four corners of the bookshelf to glow a light blue. Once the glow was gone, Itachi walked through the bookcase and motioned Sasuke to follow him. Main gate. Naruto and Jiraiya were making their way to the gate when they both heard a terrible screeching voice, Naruto Baka. The voice belonged to Sakura Haruno, Naruto's teammate, if only by title. Where's Sasuke-kun? I haven't seen him since he saved me from that horrible monster Gaara. Naruto was pissed off. First, I'm the one who beat Gaara, and he's not a monster. He's the exact same as I am, and I will not have you insult that of which you do not know. You Baka, you could never beat Gaara. And he is a monster. He tried to crush me to death, screeched Sakura. I should have let him. If you don't believe me, ask Ino, at least she isn't an annoying fangirl who can't tell her ass from a kunai, stated Naruto as he turned and walked away from his teammate. Get back here right now, Baka. And tell me where Sasuke-kun is, screeched Sakura. Go fuck yourself, Haruno. The coldness in his voice, along with a nice, little, blast of killing intent. Little, enough to make guys stop wearing spandex, got his point across. Over the last week he had been doing some serious thinking on his so-called friends, and found out there was a lot more of them than he thought. But the one person he was sure was not his friend was Sakura Haruno. I'm going to tell my mom you insulted me. She's on the council, screeched the pink-haired embarrassment to Kunoichi. Go for it, and while you're at it, go tell the Hokage. I'm sure he would love to hear how his apprentice was held up from a mission because you can tell when to shut your mouth. And with that, they were gone, leaving that time of the monthy, Sakura fuming on her way to the Hokage tower. Two can play this game Baka. There's no way you're the Yondaime's apprentice, you're not fit to be his errand boy, Sakura said out loud to herself. Uchiha's secret vault. The last two Uchiha were standing in a dark hallway behind the bookcase. Itachi looked to Sasuke and motioned him to follow. After about a minute of walking they got to a small door that had no handle. Itachi then said, only those that fight for others will be truly strong. The door flashed, then opened, revealing a 10 by 10 room, each wall filled with shelves upon shelves of scrolls and different weapons. On the far end of the room was a tablet. This room was built by our great-grandfather. It contains the best fire jutsu the world over. There are also wind, water, earth and lighting jutsu. That wall is all the elemental jutsu. That wall is all normal jutsu along with taijutsu and genjutsu. The wall behind us has the best weapons you can find to fit the Uchiha fighting style, stated Itachi. What about that tablet? What's it do? Asked a dumbfounded Sasuke. That tablet holds the secrets of the Sharingan. It explains how to gain more kamas, how to train it and how to increase it to the Mangekyo. Go and read what you can, said Itachi. Sasuke walked over to the tablet and began reading. His eyes grew wider every minute until he was done reading. Is that really the only way to unlock it? I have to kill my best friend? I can't do that, shouted Sasuke. That's why I'm here. I'm going to make you. Tsukuyomi, stated Itachi as he cast his genjutsu on Sasuke. This is a special genjutsu. It bends the victim to my will. You're going to go kill Naruto and unlock your power. Hokage's tower. Minato saw sitting at his desk, laughing like a madman. His son was truly a genius in every sense of the word. Minato, ever had the unbeatable enemy of paperwork. Well, Minato didn't anymore. His son had suggested that he make shadow clones to do the paperwork, after hitting his head against every wall in his house, and every wall in his office. He gave his son a huge hug and the payment for an S-class mission, stating that Naruto just made the village about 100% more efficiency. He was giggling and laying down on the couch when he heard a loud knock on the door. With a sigh, he called for whoever it was to come in and moved to his desk. A pink-haired girl entered and took up a spot in front of the desk. How may I help you, miss? The Yondaime didn't know this girl. Sakura Haruno, Lord Hokage, I would like to talk to you about Naruto Uzumaki, if you have the time, the young pinkhead asked. What has he done this time? Asked the Hokage. Sakura smirked. Even the new Hokage knew about Naruto being a troublemaker. I saw him and some tall white-haired guy walking towards the gates. I asked if he knew where Sasuke was, so I could repay him for saving me from Gaara. Minato was about to tell her off. He decided to let her continue. He was going to fix every wrong detail of his son's life, and this was as good as any to start with. Then the Baka claimed that he beat Gaara, and that the psychopath wasn't a monster. When I told him he was lying and to tell me where my Sasuke-kun was, he told me to go fuck myself, and walked away. When I told him I was going to have him punished by the council that my mom is on, he told me to come see you. He even had the nerve to claim that he was your apprentice. Miss Haruno, everything my apprentice said was completely accurate. He did defeat Gaara, and not only is he my apprentice, he is also, as of 3 days ago, adopted by me. He is my son and I will not stand for any mistreatment or threats against him. Minato was pissed. This girl was supposed to be his son's teammate, and from what he can tell treats him like shit. Why would you adopt a loser like Naruto? He's not half the ninja Sasuke-kun is. And Sasuke would make a way better apprentice than the Baka. Sasuke-kun deserves to be your student. Sakura was furious. Her Sasuke-kun was getting shafted by some Hokage that she didn't even know. It took every fiber of his being not to jump across the table and beat the shit out of the little bitch in front of him. Naruto is better at every facet of being a ninja than Sasuke is. He deserves everything he has gotten, and even Kakashi, your sensei, agrees with it. I have read your file and it would seem that every time you have ever been in danger, either Naruto, Kakashi or Sasuke has bailed you out. You're next to useless in almost every way when it comes to being a ninja, and you have the audacity to tell me that my son is the Baka? I did not stop the Kyuubi from destroying the village so that fangirls like you could enter my ranks. From this moment until I see fit, you are removed from Team 7 and are to be sent back to the academy. You have no say in this, and you are lucky that you are not banned from being a shinobi for assault and threats against a comrade's life. Now get the hell out of my office before I end your career myself. You can't do that. I'm the daughter of a council member. Screeched Sakura. Then as of right now, Councilwoman Haruno is stripped of her place. I cannot have someone helping me run my village while they can't even run a family. Anbu, get her the hell away from me. No sooner said than done. 2 Anbu dropped from the ceiling and escorted Sakura out of the room. Via window. Namikaze Mansion. Sasuke had just walked from the Uchiha district all the way to Naruto's home. He was being controlled by his brother who was standing next to him. They found Naruto sleeping in his bed. Sasuke felt himself lose control of his body and stabbed Naruto in the throat. Naruto's eyes shot open and looked at his attacker. Why? Sasuke. It was over, Naruto was dead, and Sasuke had killed him. Why? Sasuke. It was over, Naruto was dead, and Sasuke had killed him. No, why Itachi? Why would you do this? Sasuke was in horrible emotional pain. His brother just forced him to kill his best friend. I wanted to see you gain my power. The power of the Mangekyo, answered Itachi. I'd rather never have that power than kill Naruto. You're dead, I'm going to kill you, shouted Sasuke as he started making hand signs. Wait Sasuke, look at where you are, shouted Itachi. What are you? Why are we back in the vault? Asked a confused and furious Sasuke. We never left, I trapped you in Tsukuyomi, it's a power of the Mangekyo Sharingan. A power you now have, stated a half-sorry, half-happy Itachi. What are you talking about? What power? Where is Naruto? Asked Sasuke. He left this morning with Master Jiraiya. You didn't kill him. I trapped you in an extremely powerful genjutsu to make you think that you killed him, and now, you have the Mangekyo. Explained Itachi. Go read the tablet. It will explain everything. Sasuke walked over from the door to the tablet and began reading. The Mangekyo is the most powerful stage of the Sharingan. The only way to increase is this: have the blood of both brothers. It give the ability to see through any genjutsu, cast the black flames and use the infinite world. Sasuke looked over to his brother. What the hell? Can you clear any of that up, or am I on my own on this one? I'll start from the beginning. I don't know everything, but I will tell you everything I know, Itachi said. And motioned Sasuke to join him. The original shinobi, the sage of six paths, was the master of all that is ninja. He basically invented modern genjutsu, ninjutsu, senjutsu. Itachi was interrupted. What is senjutsu? Asked a confused Sasuke. Senjutsu is the art of using nature chakra to enhance every aspect of your being. There have only been 2 recorded senjutsu users in existence, the sage of six paths, and Jiraiya of the Sannin, though it is believed that there are clans that have the ability to use it as well, answer Itachi. Why has no one else learned it? Is it like a Kekkei Genkei? Asked Sasuke. No, the reason no one else can use it is because it requires massive chakra reserves, perfect chakra control and the gift of the Sage of Six Paths, answered Itachi. The gift of the Sage of Six Paths? What that? Asked an excited Sasuke. Was the Sharingan the eyes? You must have both the body and the eyes of the sage, or get the blessing of one of the legendary elders, answered Itachi. The body and eyes? The legendary elders? What does that mean? Asked Sasuke. The Sage of Six Paths had 2 sons, he gave one his eyes, and one his chakra. The Uchiha got the power of his eyes. The Senju got his chakra, but there is a family that has both, the Uzumaki. The Uzumaki is the clan that the sage is said to originate from, or they are the clan that resulted from a Senju and an Uchiha. The legendary elders are the heads of the 3 great summons, the toads, the slugs and the snakes. They may all grant the gift of the sage, but first you must meet the elders and get their blessing. Just because you have the contracts, doesn't mean you can become a sage, explained Itachi. So Naruto can learn sage mode? Could I learn it as well? I couldn't tell you. You need Sannin level reserves, and to get the blessing of an elder, that's how Master Jiraiya gained the ability, answered Itachi. So what's the blood of both brothers? Does that mean you have to be both Senju and Uchiha? Asked Sasuke. Yes, either the DNA of both brothers, or being an Uzumaki. Sasuke thought for a moment. So technically, we're both related to Naruto? He asked. Yes, we are distant blood relatives of Naruto, answered Itachi. The tablet said that the Mangekyo is the most powerful level of the Sharingan, but it also said that you needed both of the brothers' blood to increases it. Does that mean that there is something more powerful than the Mangekyo? Asked Sasuke. Yes and no. There is a more powerful Dujutsu than the Sharingan, it is called the Rinnegan. The Rinnegan was believed to be a myth, but I work for man who has it. They're incredible, I've only heard rumors. But apparent the one who has the Rinnegan can control gravity, summon any animal, and even control life and death, answered Itachi. What? Control life and death? That's impossible, argued Sasuke. I'm just telling you what I've heard, it does exist. Pain has it, answered Itachi. Pain? Is he your leader? Asked Sasuke. Yes, but I suspect he's just a figurehead for the real leader. But enough of the negatives, I need to leave by the end of the day so I don't arouse suspicion from Akatsuki. Let's grab some of the scrolls and head back to Naruto's house. I will teach you as much as I can about the Mangekyo and give you some training tips, answered Itachi. The both got up, grabbed the scrolls, and headed back to the Namikaze mansion. With Jiraiya and Naruto. Naruto and Jiraiya were about a mile outside of Konoha. So why are we looking for this Tsunade chick again? My dad already took up the spot of Hokage. Asked Naruto in a nonchalant tone. Because my apprentice asked me too, your dad is ridiculously smart. He wants us to bring Tsunade back to run the hospital and to train medical nins. My ex-teammate is the best medical nin in the world. Also he wants her to return to show that Konoha is still the strongest village. Even though we lost a large amount of ninja in the invasion, that and she's the last Senju, answered Jiraiya. Fair enough. Is she really that strong? Asked the now interested Naruto. Wait and see my apprentice, wait and see, stated Jiraiya. Now let's start your training. He pulled out a piece of paper and handed it to Naruto. Channel your chakra into that. It will tell you your nature affinity. Naruto started to channel chakra into the paper and stared intently at it. Right before his eyes the paper was cut in half and crinkled very slightly. What does that mean, Arrow Sennin? Brat, I told you to stop calling me that. The paper being cut means that you have an affinity for wind, just like your old man, answered Jiraiya. What about the crinkling? What does that mean? Asked Naruto. What crinkling? Asked Jiraiya. Naruto handed him the paper. Jiraiya took a closer look and discovered that the paper was slightly crinkled. It seems you also have an affinity for lightning. But it's either so weak that it barely shows up, or your wind affinity is so strong that it cancels the lightning out. I think I know how we can figure it out. Make as many shadow clones as you can and have them each grab a leaf. Naruto did as told, and in a matter of 5 seconds they were surrounded by 500 Narutos, each with a leaf in its hand. The tree next to them was almost bare from the Narutos removing the leaves. What do we do now? Jiraiya was stunned. There was way more Narutos than he expected, but he just chalked it up to the training he did with Minato over the last week. Have them form a single file line behind you. And try to use your wind chakra to cut the leaf in half. Your old man once told me it was like grinding your chakra together and trying to make it as thin as possible. Got it, said all 500 some of the Narutos as they did as told and they got back on their path to the first town. -3 hours later, the train of Narutos had been steadily making their way with the original and Jiraiya, but they were at the end of their rope. Jiraiya saw this and was amazed they lasted that long, proving once again that Naruto had inhuman stamina. Pervy sage, I think that's as much as they can take, stated Naruto. Perfect timing, we're about 15 minutes outside of town. Have your clones dispel in groups of 20. Stated the toad sage. Naruto did as told, and after about 5 minutes all the clones were gone. Good, now try and cut the leaf again. Naruto did as told and tried one more time and the leaf split in two. Yay. I did it. Does that mean I mastered wind chakra? No, but you can use it at will. Now, he grabbed another piece of chakra paper and handed it to Naruto. Channel your chakra again, but hold back your wind chakra. Naruto did as told and the paper crumpled. Jiraiya smiled and said, so you have 2 affinity. I'm going to need to find some lightning jutsu for you. I'm sure that the library back at the house has some, but for now let's look for Tsunade. She's a blonde, probably looks about 30 and has a huge chest. I have an idea. Jiraiya was expecting him to use shadow clones, but what happened next he never could have expected. Naruto pumped chakra into his vocal cords, cupped his hands over his mouth and yelled loud enough for everyone in a 5-mile radius to hear, Hey Master Jiraiya. Can I see the picture of Tsunade Senju sunbathing that I've heard about? Brat, why did you do that? If she's in that town I am dead. Yelled a frightened Jiraiya. What's the big deal? You said she was your team. What's that rumbling sound? As to answer Naruto, a dust cloud slowly appeared on the horizon. As it got closer and closer, Naruto saw a beautiful 30-or-so-year-old blonde appear running out of the dust cloud shouting, Jiraiya! You pervert! In a flash of speed and ungodly strength, Tsunade uppercut Jiraiya and sent him flying deeper into the forest. She then turned to Naruto and said, Are you the other pervert who, Naruto? She was stunned. She was told that Naruto died the night of the attack. Did he get revived too? Yay? Do I know you? Asked a confused Naruto. He had figured out that the lady in front of him was the woman that they were looking for, but how did she know him? That means that Minato is back. But I didn't know that you were revived too, asked a dumbfounded Tsunade. She now had two of her special people back. She no longer felt that oh so familiar hole in her heart. I was never dead, but Dad was. He took up the spot of Hokage when the old man died, and he sent me and Pervy Sage to come find you and bring you back with us, asked Naruto. What do you mean you weren't dead? That's what I was told, you died the night of the attack. And of course I'll come back, yelled a confused Tsunade. She left because 3 more of her special people died. Was one alive this whole time? Maybe that was a cover-up so that he wouldn't find out about me? No, I've been alive this whole time. It was really bad for a while. But I made some friends and now I am a ninja. Dad even said I have a good chance of becoming one of the first rookie Chunin Sensei Itachi, answered Naruto. Before he could blink he was swallowed up in a giant bear hug and was struggling for air. In a muffled voice he yelled out, "Air, need air." Tsunade realized what she was doing and dropped Naruto. By the time Naruto got his bearings, Jiraiya had made his way back and a new woman with black hair was talking with Tsunade. Tsunade said something to the confused black-haired woman and she freaked out. She ran over to Naruto and he was once again swept into a crushing hug. With the once again need to breath, he struggled his way out. How come I don't get a welcome like that? He's my apprentice, said Jiraiya, as he cried fake anime tears. Jiraiya, if you turned him into a pervert I will castrate you with an old rusty spoon, warned Tsunade. Relax, the kid is too young for that kind of stuff anyway, the brat doesn't even have a girlfriend. Laughed Jiraiya. Shit, I forgot to say goodbye to Ino, panicked Naruto. Who's Ino? Asked the Toad Sage. She's my. Well, we like each other, stammered Naruto. Ah, little Naru-chan has a girlfriend. That is so cute. What's her last name? Maybe I know her parents, said Tsunade with a smile on her face. Her name is Ino Yamanaka, we just really started talking about a week ago, answered Naruto. That's my pupil, a lady killer, just like your father, only he was too dense to know it, laughed Jiraiya. Yamanaka? Oh, I need to see this girl. She's going to be a bombshell when she hits 16, stated Tsunade. The Yamanaka are almost famous for their good looks. I wonder if she's Inoichi's daughter? Asked the black-haired woman. Oh, right, Naruto, this is my apprentice, Shizune, stated Tsunade, a little embarrassed that she forgot to introduce them earlier. Hello Shizune. Will you be coming back with us too? Asked Naruto. Too? Tsunade, you're coming back? You said you'd never come back after the Kyuubi attack? Asked Jiraiya. That was before I heard that Minato was back. Hell, just yesterday I was turning down healing Orochimaru. I was heading there now to see if it was true. I never imagined I'd get Naru-chan back too, answered Tsunade. If you keep calling me that, I'm going to start calling you Ba-chan, retorted Naruto. Never going to happen Naru-chan. Let's head back to Konoha. I need a place to stay, and I'm sure as hell not staying in a hotel room, stated Tsunade. Lead the way Ba-chan, and you can stay with us, we got plenty of room, answered Naruto. Don't call me Ba-chan, yelled Tsunade. Secret base of the legendary pedo snake. I can't believe that Tsunade refused to help you, Lord Orochimaru. I thought the reward of her loved ones would be enough for her to be bent to your will, stated a silver-haired, purple-wearing teen. All is well Kabuto, but this body is failing. I need a new body and fast. Gather the sound 4. We need to retrieve the Uchiha. I'm sure his curse mark has ingrained itself into Sasuke enough that I may bend him to my will, answered the snake Sanin. Actually Lord Orochimaru, my spy in Konoha has reviled that Minato Namikaze has removed the curse mark. He won't come willingly, stated Kabuto. Orochimaru gritted his teeth. Minato Namikaze was too big a thorn in his side. Well now, that calls for a change of plans. Send my Sound 4 and Kimimaru, I'm sure they can handle it. As you wish, Lord Orochimaru, answered Kabuto. -2 hours later, Tsunade, Jiraiya and Shizune. The two women of the group had just got done crying their eyes out. Jiraiya had sent Naruto ahead to work on his speed training, and told Shizune and Tsunade about Naruto's life, every beating, mistreatment and the suicide attempt. They had just stopped crying and were now walking in strong silence. They silently decided to catch up to Naruto. Tsunade figured that they would catch up well before they got to Konoha. Main gate. Naruto had just made it back to Konoha. Jiraiya had told him to train his speed, so he did. He crossed what would be about a 2.5-hour walk in a little under 15 minutes. His training with his dad and his inhuman stamina was really paying off. Now he was chatting with the eternal gate guards. "Hey, Uzumaki, you forget something?" asked Izumo. "Yay, you were supposed to be gone at least a couple days. We finally had some peace and quite," laughed Kotetsu. Though they did not outwardly show it, the gate guards had developed a soft spot for the blonde. It all started when he showed up Ibiki during the first part of the Chunin exams. "Ha ha, funny. No, we finished the mission, we found Tsunade Ba-chan in the first town we went to, they're on their way now. I just wanted to let loose and see how fast I got," answered Naruto. "Good to hear. And we heard that Lord Hokage adopted you as well. Things are finally looking up for you, kid," stated Kotetsu. "Yay, and everyone we talked to that had a vote in the Chunin exams said to put in your name for a promotion. Is it true that you fought Orochimaru into a retreat in the Forest of Death?" added Izumo. "Yay, but I couldn't stop him from putting that weird mark on Sasuke's neck. Are there really that many people that think I should be a Chunin? All I did was beat 2 guys and drive a third one off? Shikamaru took on like 10 guys by himself," said a dumbfounded Naruto. "Were there really that many people that believed in him?" "Modest ain't ya?" asked Kotetsu. "What do you mean? I beat Neji and Gaara? So what?" asked Naruto. "Wow, there are jonin that would brag about that and this genin is playing it off like it's nothing," stated Izumo. "Yay, really? Kid, you beat Neji Hyuga, the pride of the Hyuga clan, Gaara, who went full-tailed beast, and you drove of Orochimaru, a member of the legendary Sannin. If I could I would have voted you a full jonin, instead of special jonin," stated Kotetsu. "Me too, it's a real shame, I've heard a couple of people say that, and they're all pretty important people," stated Izumo. "What's a special jonin?" asked Naruto. "It's a chunin that has 2 or more jonin level skill sets, like for you. I put down ninjutsu, stamina and tactics. Using a clone as a decoy tunnel under your opponent was pretty awesome by the way," stated Izumo. Naruto just rubbed the back of his head sheepishly. He was about to talk when 2 Anbu dropped down. "Uzumaki, the Hokage requests you come to the tower," said the cat-faced Anbu. "Yay, yay. See you 2 later, I hope I'm not in trouble," said Naruto as he wandered off into the village. "That kid is going to be one hell of a ninja one day," said Kotetsu. "You're not kidding, I bet he makes jonin in under 2 years," said Izumo. "Let's just hope he doesn't turn into another Itachi." -10 minutes later, Hokage Tower. Minato was sitting at his desk, his empty desk, and was writing the speech he was going to read to the masses at the ceremony. There came a knock at his door. He called them to come in, and was pleasantly surprised to see it was his son. "Hey Naruto, I've got another mission for you. Our stuff from Tenon is ready and I want you to go pick it up and bring it back here, understood?" asked Minato. "Got it," said Naruto as he turned to walk out the door. "Oh, and get some ramen on your way back," but it was too late, Naruto had left. -10 minutes later, Shinobi's best weapons. "Welcome to." "Oh hey Naruto, you looking for some new kunai?" asked Tenten. "Sort of, I'm picking up an order," answered Naruto. "Alright, I just need the name of your account. How you been by the way? Almost no one has seen you after your big fight with Neji, I heard you Gaara." "Is that true?" badgered Tenten. "I've been great, and yay, I beat Gaara, though it wasn't by much, I passed right after his team took him away." "The order is under Namikaze," answered Naruto. "That's so cool. You must be really strong to beat Neji and Gaara in the same day." "So, why are you picking up the Yondaime order?" asked Tenten. "It's a joint order, more than half of it's mine," answered Naruto. "Oh, I see, I heard that he adopted you?" asked Tenten. "Yep, about a week ago. I'm surprised that Ino hasn't told everyone," answered Naruto. "Why would Ino know something like that? Unless, are you two an item?" asked Tenten. If she was right, she had dirt on the gossip queen of Konoha. "Leave the poor boy alone," said Tenen, as he came out of the back room. "Come on back, I just finished your new toys," he said, waving Naruto to follow him. Tenten followed as well. They all walked back to the workbench, where Tenen picked up a custom kunai and tossed it to Naruto. The kunai was a mix between a flying thunder god kunai and a dagger. The main blade was the same as a normal kunai, only longer and wider. The side prongs came out of the main blade at a right angle and curved back to make a hilt. that covered up the thumb and pointer finger. Both side prongs had a sweeping blade that got thinner the farther out it went, making even a glancing blow a serious gash. "They're perfect. I couldn't have made them better if I had a year to think about it," stated a very thankful Naruto as he twirled it around in his fingers. "They're all made out of chakra-conducting metal, so you can use them to their maximum effectiveness," stated a very happy Tenin. "If you like those, you're going to love your sword." He picked it up and tossed it to Naruto. Like the kunai, it was spectacular. The handle was just big enough to have a two-handed grip. The hilt was the same as on the kunai. Two sweeping blades that were long enough to keep a sword from getting to his hand, but still long enough to be deadly should you catch them with it. "I thought you said it was a sword? Where's the blade?" asked Tenten. "It's not there yet," answered Tenin before turning to Naruto. "Bring it in when it's done, and I'll give you a little present. Now get out of here. There's no need to tie up any more of your time here, my boy." He laughed as he put the two sets of kunai in storage scrolls, along with Naruto's new sword, and pushed him out the front door. "Dad, why are you so nice to Naruto? You never let anyone back there?" asked Tenten. "Tell you next week, though by then I'm sure that you'll figure it out." -5 minutes later, Ichiraku's. "Hey old man, I need a takeout for me and my old man. Can you set me up?" asked Naruto as he entered the stand. "Ah, but of course my student, but why isn't he here with you?" asked Tucci. "He's in his office. When do we start training?" asked Naruto. "We start tomorrow at 5:30, don't worry about a sword, just bring yourself. We won't get into the sword part of the training for about a week," answered Tucci. "You're the boss, I'll be here on time tomorrow," answered Naruto as he placed their order. A few minutes later Naruto took the bags and left the stand, leaving a very happy Tucci. He was finally able to pass on the style that gave him the title, the Blue Blur of Death. -10 minutes later, Hokage Tower. "I'm back," said Naruto as he walked into the Hokage's office from the window. "Nice timing, Jiraiya and Tsunade just left. Tsunade and Shizune are going to live with us until she gets a new house." "How'd the kunai come out?" asked Minato. "Great, mine are just as cool as yours," stated Naruto as he tossed Minato both weapon scrolls, took a seat and took out his ramen. Minato unsealed the kunai and was dumbfounded. "Hey Naruto, wanna trade?" asked Minato. "Yay right, I'm going to make those famous," stated Naruto as he started to inhale, his ramen. "Fair enough. Let's get to work on your sword," stated Minato as he took out a blank scroll and a brush. "So tell me everything you want this sword to do." Next day, 5:30, behind Ichiraku's. Naruto was standing in the alley behind his favorite food stand. Across from him was his newest teacher. "Okay Naruto, I'm going to teach you the sword style that my great-grandfather created. It was meant to be passed down to my child, but Ayame never became a ninja, so I will teach it to you. The training for this style is very difficult, but should you learn it, you will become nearly unstoppable," stated Tucci. "I'm not backing down, old man. I'll learn this style if it's the last thing I do," yelled an enthusiastic Naruto. "Good, now let me give a demonstration of the first step." Tucci started to glow blue and rose about an inch of the ground. "Old man, that's so cool," yelled Naruto. "Naruto, you haven't seen cool yet," said Tucci as he started to move in circles around Naruto, without moving his legs. He moved faster and faster until he was literally a blur. "That is so cool," cheered Naruto. Tucci came to a stop and fell to a knee, breathing heavily. My, I haven't done that in years. Maybe I should start training again, it wouldn't hurt to be in shape," said Tucci as he got back up. "Why did you ever stop being a shinobi? You're incredible," asked Naruto. "I was the Jonin sensei for a group of young shinobi. Their names were Hayate, Genma and Rado. On a B rank gone bad, we found ourselves fighting in a huge battle vs 10 missing nin. I used my sword style to the max of my body's abilities and beyond. We won the battle, though Hayate was stabbed by a poisoned kunai. He contracted some weird illness that eventually cost him his life. My chakra system was so torn up that I would have been next to useless in combat. It was about 3 years ago that I was fully recovered, but now I have a family, and I wouldn't leave my wife and daughter just to relive my glory days," answered Tucci. "Wow, a true shinobi in every way. I want to be just like you. Now how do you move like that?" asked Naruto. "Well, the floating is the easy part. Just force chakra out the bottoms of your feet until you're floating about an inch of the ground. Do that first, when you can hold yourself in the air for 2 full minutes. Then we will move on to the way move, stated Teuchi. Naruto just nodded. He started to force chakra out of the soles of his feet. After about 45 seconds he found the right amount of chakra and started to hover. Much to Teuchi's surprise, Naruto made it all the way to 5 minutes before he finally fell back to earth, breathing heavy, but with plenty of chakra left. Good God, your reserves are inhuman, and your control is impressive too. I guess we move to the next step. Form a layer of chakra on your body, about a quarter inch thick. When you can do that, we will continue on to the actual moving. -12 to 30, Namikaze Mansion. Naruto had just gotten home from his training with Teuchi. He was sweating. His shirt was all but destroyed from chakra burns. Though Teuchi said that those would stop when he got a good enough grasp on the chakra layer. He was about to go to the indoor hot spring when he heard a knock at the door. He walked, limped, to the door to open it. When he opened the door he found an annoyed Ino staring him in the face. "What the hell happened to you?" she asked in a half-mad half-concerned voice. "Training, I was about to grab a shower or something when you got here. If you don't mind waiting, you can meet our new residents," stated Naruto. "I don't have a choice, do I?" asked a smirking Ino. One of the things she liked about Naruto was his stubbornness, though she would never tell him that. Naruto just grinned and called out, "Free alcohol." Immediately a very happy Tsunade came flying down the stairs and stared at Naruto. "Hey Ba-chan. This is Ino. Ino. This is Tsunade Senju." "Brat, what have I told you about calling me that?" yelled Tsunade before she turned to Ino. "Well, I was right about the bombshell thing. Nice going, Naru-chan." "You're Tsunade of the Sanin," stated a stunned Ino. "Yep, and you're Ino Yamanaka, daughter of Inoichi. Naru-chan has told us about you," smiled Tsunade. "I'm going to shower, don't corrupt her too much, Ba-chan." And with that, Naruto stumbled off into the house. "So, you like Naru-chan, huh?" -10 minutes later, Naruto was walking back down the stairs from his room, still getting dressed, when he heard something that both intrigued him and frightened him. "Want to know how I got these?" It was Tsunade's voice. Naruto decided that now would be a good time to enter, but forgot he was only wearing pants. "Wow, Ino, you are one lucky girl," stated Tsunade. Ino couldn't talk, her mouth was too full of drool. "Whoops, forgot I wasn't wearing a shirt," he said as he slipped on the rest of his jumpsuit. "Brat, you need some better clothes if you want to have a Yamanaka as a girlfriend," stated Tsunade. Yay, and just how am I going to get those without overpaying for them?" Both Ino's and Tsunade's heart sunk at that statement before they both perked up. "I'll take you," the both said in unison, before looking at each other and laughing. This is going to end badly. -30 minutes later, Shinobi Clothing Store. For the last 25 minutes, Naruto was dragged around by one hyperactive blonde, and one hyperactive, very well-endowed blonde. They had made it into the current store about 5 minutes ago, and Naruto had no fucking idea what he had gotten himself into. "What do you want, brat?" asked Tsunade. "Well, I would like to keep some orange, like a stripe on my pants or something," stated Naruto. Tsunade just nodded and went off to find said pants. Ino walked over to him holding a black mesh combat shirt, black combat sandals and a pair of dark orange half sleeves. Like Ino's in part 1, but dark orange. Do I get something to go over the mesh?" asked Naruto, figuring that Ino just did that to see his torso more. "Nope," said a joyful Yamanaka. Just then Tsunade showed up with a pair of deep blue shinobi pants with a stripe of dark orange going from the hip and tapering off at about mid-calf. "Here brat, go get changed. I want to see how my little Naru-chan looks," stated Tsunade in a caring voice. Naruto just sighed and accepted his fate. After he got into the changing room, Ino asked, "How do you know Naruto? You two seem really close?" "I'm his godmother. I was told he died the night of the Kyuubi attack. I am just trying to make up for lost time," said Tsunade with a sad smile. Ino smiled as well, another person to help Naruto. They were drawn from their thoughts by a familiar voice, well familiar to Ino. "Hey there Ino pig, what you looking for this time?" asked a smirking Sakura. It was common knowledge that Ino was a shopaholic. She turned to see who it was Ino was chatting with, who it was surprised her. "You're Tsunade Senju. Last time I checked? And who might you be?" asked Tsunade. "I'm Sakura Haruno. How do you two know each other?" asked Sakura. Mutual friend, stated Ino with sly smile. The look on her friend's face was going to be priceless. Who? Asked Sakura. My boyfriend, stated Ino. And who might that be? Asked a shocked Sakura. For Ino to pick someone, he must be incredible. As to answer her question, two orange-covered arms wrapped around Ino's waist and pulled her into a very loving hug. Ah, you call me your boyfriend? I'm honored, Ino-han, stated Naruto with his chin resting on her shoulder. It took a couple of seconds for Sakura to register what was happening, but when she did. You're dating Naruto, yelled Sakura. Yep, I had to grab him before someone else did, stated Ino, sending a sly smirk at Sakura. Sakura knew exactly what Ino was implying. Naruto had a crush on her, but she was glad. Good, now I get Sasuke-kun all to myself. Go for it, forehead, ask him out. I bet he says no, laughed Ino. What she didn't know was that Naruto and Sasuke, despite always being at each other's throats, were best friends, and over the last few days, they were getting closer and closer. He doesn't like you. He likes someone else, stated Naruto. And what do you know, Baka? Questioned a pissed of Sakura. Well, he told me who he liked, so I guess I would know. Oh, and how did the meeting go with the Hokage? Stated Naruto. That Baka sent me back to the academy and took my mom off the council. Who does he think he is? He thinks he can just come in here and take over the village? He was stupid enough to adopt you. He doesn't deserve to be Hokage. Before she could finish her thought, she was sent flying through the door of the shop by a vicious right hook from Ino. You're a joke, Sakura. You were supposed to be the smartest one out of us all. How are you the last to figure out that the new Hokage is Minato Namikaze, the Yondaime? Shouted Ino. You've lost it. The Yondaime died defeating the Nine Tails. Shouted Sakura. Wow, this is what passes for a kunoichi these days. I'm going to have a talk with Minato about this. I'm surprised we weren't taken over in the invasion. Thank God you were there, Naruto. Otherwise we would all be dead right now. Stated a very unhappy Tsunade. I'll see you at home, brat. Bring your girlfriend by. That idiot Jiraiya got himself a second apprentice. Maybe I should too. And she walked up to the Hokage tower. Let's get going, Naruto-kun. I'm hungry, said Ino as she walked away, not even saying goodbye to Sakura. Naruto walked side by side with her until they were out of sight. What's going on? Why doesn't Ino like Sasuke anymore? And why is Tsunade living with Naruto? Asked Sakura to no one in particular. Minus 15 minutes later, Ichiraku's. Hey Tuchi-sensei. I'm going to need some food for me and my friend here. Can you fix us up? Yelled Naruto as he led Ino into the food stand and pulled out her chair. No problem, kid, stated Tuchi as he walked out of the back. He spotted Naruto pulling out the stool for the other blonde to sit on. And who might you be, miss? Ino Yamanaka, Naruto's girlfriend. At this time two things happened. Tuchi's jaw dropped, and Ayame came flying out of the kitchen with hearts in her eyes. Oh, this going to be bad. Next day, Hokage Tower, Minato's speech. Everyone was no edge. The people who knew that Minato was back and the Hokage were tense. They knew that he adopted Naruto. The ones who knew that Naruto was Minato's biological son were wary of the wrath he could bring upon the ones who treated him badly. The ones that only knew of the adoption were afraid that the demon was somehow controlling the most dangerous man in the world. Then there were the people who either didn't know about his return, or that just didn't believe that he was back. The crowd was abuzz with chattering and speculation, that is, until a figure walked out into the ledge of the balcony. There was silence, then, the figure removed his hat, and everyone saw the golden locks of hair, and a face no one could ever forget. Minato Namikaze stood in his old clothes, right down to the white coat with their red flames that licked the bottom. The crowd erupted in cheers and praise until he held up his hand. People of Konoha. Everyone became deathly silent out of respect for the man. I already said the acceptance speech once, so let's get on to the fun stuff. He yelled with a smile. The crowd laughed and cheered. Now, my first act as Hokage is for the finalists from the Chunin exam to once again be tested. 3 days from now, the contestants will fight different opponents, varying in skill, to grade their true level. Should they be deemed a high enough level, they will be promoted to Chunin. Another round of thunderous larus, before one of the civilians yelled. Who might these ninja be? Everyone seemed eager to hear the names of the challengers. Minato just smiled. What he was about to tell them was going to shake Konoha to its very core. The fine young shinobi to participate in this exams are Shino Aburame, heir of the Aburame clan. There was a large applause, the clan was well known. Sasuke Uchiha, the next clan head of the Uchiha. Another huge and thunderous applause. Shikamaru Nara, heir of the Nara clan. Another applause, though this one not as large as the last one. Neji Hyuga, protege of the Hyuga clan, a thunderous applause, and my son, the heir of the Namikaze clan, and the head of the Uzumaki clan, Naruto Uzumaki Namikaze. And my son, the heir of the Namikaze clan, and the head of the Uzumaki clan, Naruto Uzumaki Namikaze. The crowd was silent for nearly a full minute before. Yosh, Naruto's flaming youth has never burned hotter, shouted Might Guy, as a longtime friend of Kakashi. He knew about just how good the kid was. Yosh, I shall challenge Naruto to a taijutsu match. And if I lose I will do 100 laps around Konoha on my pinkies while eating bricks of cheese with my feet. Shouted Rock Lee. He healed much faster in my story. Make up your own reason why. Lee, Guy Sensei. Lee. And then it happened, the most horrible genjutsu ever created. Lee and Guy were embracing each other on a sandy beach that came out of nowhere, with a low sunset and crashing waves. Needless to say, everyone freaked the fuck out. People were clawing at their eyes. Every ninja was trying their hardest to dispel it, and even Minato was doing his best not flash down and end it. Lee, let us show our true flames. Youthful hip thrusts of youth. Shouted Guy as he and Lee began to thrust their hips at anyone within a 25-foot radius of them. Bringer of darkness jutsu, shouted a familiar voice. In an instant everyone's world went black, though they didn't lose consciousness. The light was just gone from their vision. The people immediately began to cheer and thank whoever it was that saved them from the sight of two hip-thrusting bull cuts. Everyone heard the sounds of struggling and ropes being tied, and then their vision was back. They looked in amazement as they saw both Guy and Lee knocked out and tied up on the ground. Standing over them was none other than Naruto. Naruto dropped to a knee and started to breathe very heavily. In an instant Minato, Kakashi and Jiraiya. Minato helped him up. Kakashi gave him a food pill and Jiraiya was the first to speak. How much chakra do you have? That's an A-ranked genjutsu. There's less than 10 people ever that learned that. And none of them could use it on 10,000 people. I'm just guessing. It was said in the anime that Konoha was the largest hidden village, and that Kumo had like 12,000 or something like that. Every ninja in the crowd knew about the first and second Hokage's genjutsu, and every one of them knew how much chakra it took to use the genjutsu on one person, let alone 10,000. Every ninja in the crowd had just gained more respect for Naruto, and even some of the villagers for saving them from the horrible image they were all forced to witness. But still, most were wary of the young blonde. He was the Kyuubi container. Most of the villagers are idiots and think that Naruto is the Kyuubi in human form. Thank you, shouted one of the older men in the crowd. Thank you for saving us from that horrid image. What happened next shocked Naruto, Jiraiya, Kakashi and everyone else who knew of the village's hate for the young Namikaze. The crowd erupted in cheers and praise, all directed at Naruto. Though portions of the crowd still hated Naruto, more than half were cheering for him. That is until he fell unconscious from chakra exhaustion. Naruto's mindscape. To Naruto, it happened in the blink of an eye. 1 second the villagers were cheering for him, the next, he was standing in a sewer. He instantly remembered his training with Jiraiya and made his way to the cage that housed the Kyuubi. He walked into the room that the cage was located, but saw something he didn't notice the last time he was there. Another cell, though this one had a human-sized door. I will tell you when the time is right, stated Kyuubi in a booming voice, referring to the other cell. But now, it is time we finally cleared the air. What do you want to clear up? We have an agreement. If I truly need it, you lend me your chakra, stated Naruto in a bored tone. Yes, this is true, however that was before I completely knew the seal that binds us. Or should I say seals, stated Kyuubi. What are you talking about? What seals? Asked a confused Naruto. Why must my container be an idiot? The seal on your gut that contains me, is not a seal, it is several seals, to be exact, stated the fox. So what do they do? My father was a seal expert, so it's obvious they don't all keep you locked up, asked Naruto. Maybe I was wrong about the idiot thing? The seals all have a separate job. There is the main seal, that contains me. The rest of the seals branch of that one. The ones I've figured out are a chakra converter, a chakra purifier, and an enslavement seal, stated the Kyuubi. I'm guessing that the converter and purifier are so there is a steady flow of chakra flowing into me safely. Asked Naruto. The Nine Tails nodded. Then what does the enslavement seal do? That seal makes it so if you die, I die. If I force my way out, I die. If I overpower your emotions, I die. It basically makes it so that I can't do anything against you without dying. So, I am going to help you, stated the fox. You're going to help me? How and why? Asked Naruto. Several reasons. First, because I respect you. The second, because demons have a great deal of pride. I won't let my container be defeated if I can help it. And the third, the longer you live, the longer I live. I understand, and I thank you for willingly helping me. Though I'm not sure how you can help, I'm looking forward to it. But I do have 2 questions. And that would they be? What's in that cell over there? He points to the cell on the opposite side of the room. Can't tell you right now, but trust me, it will be worth the wait. Now get ready. It's time to learn, stated Kyuubi with a laugh. Fair enough. My second question. What's your name? You surprise me, kid. My name is Kurama. A day and a half later, Naruto's hospital room. It had been an interesting 36 hours. Naruto had many visitors, mostly his friends. Ino was there as much as possible, as was Jiraiya. Minato would stop in when he could, but he had to prep for the make-up exams, which were in just a day and a half, answer all the questions about Naruto and his heritage, and had to keep the village running. Currently, there was 2 people in the room, Ino and Sasuke. Both were staring at the blonde. Ino was in the chair next to his bed, holding his hand. Sasuke was in the corner of the room, facing Ino and Naruto. This was the scene as Naruto was finally awoke. Naruto's body tensed up and his eyes began to flutter. As he opens them, he finds himself staring at the ceiling. A blank, white ceiling. God damn it, I'm in a hospital, yelled Naruto, scaring Ino and Sasuke. Naru-kun, you're finally awake, yelled Ino as she hopped into his bed and pulled him into a kiss. After about 2 minutes, Ino broke off and cuddled into his chest. How long was I out? Naruto asked Sasuke, who Ino had forgotten was in the room. About a day and a half. What did you do anyway? Asked Sasuke. I used the bringer of darkness, genjutsu on the crowd, so they didn't have to watch the bowl cuts hump air at people, stated Naruto. Always putting people before yourself, you would make a fine Hokage, came the voice of Minato, now sitting in Ino's chair. When did you become a pillow? Asked a grinning Minato. He didn't mind his son being so close to a girl. Hell, he and Kushina were practically engaged when they were that age. Ino's head shot up and saw the Hokage sitting behind her, with a huge grin on his face. She shot out of the bed with a huge blush on her face. It's okay, Ino, laughed Minato. Me and Kushina were like that at your age as well. Why yes, Hokage-sama, stuttered Ino. Minato just laughed lightly and said, you can call my Minato. From what I just saw, you're going to be my daughter-in-law, so you might as well start now. This time both Ino and Naruto blushed. Dad, yelled an embarrassed Naruto. You should count your blessings, brat, said Tsunade from the door. She had seen the earlier exchange. You and your girlfriend are a nice couple, earning another blush from Naruto and Ino. Ba-chan, not you too, said Naruto crying anime tears. Don't call me that. Now get out of here, you're cleared to leave. But take it easy, stated Tsunade before looking to Minato. You still putting him through the exams? You bet, stated a happy Minato. Konoha Stadium, day of the event. The sun was just coming out and illuminating the stadium. In the center of the stadium there is a lone figure. That of Naruto Uzumaki Namikaze, who was meditating. Or at least looked like he was meditating. From the day and a half of his training with the fox he was now able to have a conversation without having to retreat to his mindscape. Kurama-sensei, my father has told me that all my opponents will be Chunin and up, and that he had a surprise for me for the last fight. What do you think he's up to? Thought Naruto. Don't know, kid, but if your old man thinks you have a shot, then you can do it, then I am sure you will. After all, I did teach you that. And we did alter the seal a little. I doubt there's a ninja in this village that you didn't at least stand a chance against, laughed Kurama. Yay, I bet everyone freaks out if I have to use that. Let's just hope I get challenged enough to use it, stated Naruto. Well, I'm going to get some food. I bet old man sensei would like to see me before the exams. No problem kid, stated Kurama as he cut the link. -5 minutes later, Ichiraku's. Hey old man sensei. How about a few bowls for a soon-to-be chunin? Shouted Naruto as he made his way into the stand. Of course, I can't send my student into battle without a full stomach, laughed Tucci. Just so you know, I believe you're ready to try out the style if you need it, but look to me first, got it? You're going to be there? What about the stand? Asked Naruto. Ayame's got it covered. I'm going to set up a TV so she can watch it and man the stand, informed Tucci. It's televised? That means it's going to be recorded, right? Asked an eager Naruto. Yep, and you better do my style proud, said a joking Tucci. Don't worry about it old man, I got more than a few tricks up my sleeve. -6 hours later. I'm not going to write the other 4 matches, the results will be explained after Naruto's fights. Minato was standing in the middle of the arena, with a huge smile on his face. He began to speak. Wow, a talented bunch so far, wouldn't you all agree? The crowd erupted in cheers. Minato quieted them down. Now, because of the situation, to show that he isn't being favored, my son Naruto will have 4 matches, instead of 2 like the rest of our contestants. And all of his matches will be against Chunin and up opponents. Everyone was speechless. What did Naruto do to piss his father off? Was he really that strong? Now without wasting any more time, Naruto Uzumaki Namikaze, make your way into the arena. Yelled Minato. Just as Minato said, arena, Naruto appeared behind him. No poof, no blur, he was just there. Everyone was stunned. There were only 4 ninja in the village that could move like that. Might Guy, Kakashi Hatake, Minato Namikaze and Jiraiya. But Naruto just did it, and what shocked them more, Naruto was wearing a new outfit. He still had his orange striped blue pants and black sandals, but he had lost the orange armbands and gained a new black Jonin flak jacket with dark orange stitching around the pockets and on the seams. It's a gift from Kakashi, and to top it all off, a black cloak with blue and white flames along the bottom. Think Minato's except black instead of white and with white-edged blue flames. Ready whenever, stated Naruto. Minato just laughed. He was sorry for anyone who underestimated Naruto. First match, Naruto vs Kurenai Yuhi. Naruto didn't move as Kurenai made her way in front of Naruto. Minato, being the proctor, asked, "You both ready?" They both nodded. "Fight," as he flashed over and sat on the wall. "I know what you did to Hinata, and you're going to pay for it," said Kurenai with venom dripping from her words. "I have done what had to be done. If you so wish to make me pay, you better attack with everything you have," stated a surprisingly cold Naruto. "I plan on it, tree-binding death," she yelled as she did her hand signs. Naruto's eyes lost focus and his body went stiff. He was enveloped in a rather large tree. A tree that Kurenai was coming out of. "Any last words?" she asked playfully. "Duck," Naruto said in a low voice. Too fast for any civilians could see, or any genin and most chunin for that matter. Naruto spun around backwards and delivers a sickening heel smash into the side of Kurenai's jaw, flinging her across the stadium and breaking her jaw. As she slid to a stop, he body lie motionless, and Tsunade jumps down from the ground to wake her up and heal her. As Kurenai wakes up, she sees 3 people over her, Tsunade, Minato and Naruto. She stares at Naruto and sputters out, "Hoao? There are only a handful of people can place a genjutsu on me. You couldn't, because my chakra is too strong and there isn't a man alive that has more than I do. The only one trapped in your genjutsu was you. You beat yourself," stated Naruto. Kurenai was in utter shock. She was beaten in a genjutsu match by a 13-year-old genin. Tsunade helped her to her feet and took her to the stands so she could get some rest. Next match, Naruto vs Genma Shiranui and Rado Namiyashi. Naruto recognized both names and looked to Tucci for confirmation. He nodded and Naruto looked back at the 2 men standing in front of him. The one on the right was wearing the standard Konoha Jonin uniform and had a scar that went from the bridge of his nose and across his left cheek. This man was Rado. The man on the left, Naruto recognized as the proctor of the finals in the Chunin exams. This man was Genma. "Hope you're ready, kid. We weren't your father's guards without a good reason," stated Rado. Yay, really, you would need an ace in the hole for us, stated Genma calmly. Naruto said nothing, but looked again to his sensei. Teuchi smiled and nodded and Naruto grinned. I have two actually, and I'm sure you will recognize one of them, he said as he pulled out his sword. Minato had finished it while he was in the hospital, and activated it. A 2.5-foot long bluish-white blade of chakra shot out of the sword. This is my first ace in the hole. The base of my sword is ordinary chakra. Though I have it coated with a layer of my wind chakra, it can and will cut through anything that isn't coated in chakra as well, stated Naruto. Both sides ready? All three nodded. Fight? Genma and Rado both pull out a sword and coat it with chakra. Genma uses water, Rado uses earth. And they both charge Naruto, only for him to disappear from sight and appear behind them, delivering a kick to Rado's leg, and a slash to Genma's back, though they both react fast enough for the attack to leave minor damage. Time for me second trick, said a cocky Naruto. Naruto started to float, about an inch of the ground, and then was surrounded by a layer of chakra. Both Rado and Genma go wide-eyed. It's not possible, yelled Rado. How? The only man that knows that is, Genma was cut off by Naruto. Old man sensei, my kenjutsu master, stated a smiling Naruto, right before he blurred toward them at impossible speeds. It was all the men could do to block their vital areas. It was all over in a second. Naruto reappeared in the spot he just left, holding both Tsunade and Shizune. Everyone looked over at the two Jonin. They looked fine. Then cuts and gashes appeared all over their bodies and they fell to the ground. The medical nin rushed over to them, but were amazed as they looked over and started healing the wounds. Not a single one was life-threatening. All the vital areas were unmarked and every cut could be healed in a matter of seconds. It was the sheer number of cuts that was to blame for their sudden lose of energy. Rado and Genma looked up at a smiling Naruto, who had his hands out, offering them help up. They both grinned and took a hand. You really are something, kid, stated Genma. Yay, just like your old man, joked Rado. Both left the arena to sit in the stands and watch the next fight. Naruto was once again standing in the middle of the arena, along with the Hokage. Can you continue? Asked Minato. Naruto gave him the, are you kidding me? Look, and Minato smiled. The third match will be Naruto versus Might Guy. Naruto looked to his dad and asked, are you insane? Guy is the best taijutsu fighter in the village. And from what Kakashi-sensei said, he's just as good with justice. You are correct, my youthful opponent. My skills in both taijutsu and ninjutsu are top-notch. But for this fight, I will win with pure taijutsu, shouted Guy. Cool, I've always wanted to fight a bushy brow, but I guess I'm going straight to the green beast, stated a cheerful Naruto. Are both fighters ready? Both smiled and nodded. Begin? Naruto shot toward Guy, surprising everyone with his boldness. Naruto threw a left hook. As Guy moved effortlessly to block it, Naruto contorted into a flying knee strike aimed at Guy's gut. Guy wasn't about to let a simple fake fool him, and crossed his arms over his chest and gut to protect them. Then in a flash of speed, Naruto disappeared in midair and Guy went flying backwards into the stadium wall, leaving a Guy-shaped dent in the wall. The crowd was silently stunned. Might Guy was just edged out by someone in taijutsu. Guy peeled himself off the wall and stared at Naruto. A double fake, I've only known a handful of people ever pull that off, and I am one of them, stated Guy. I believe it's time to take off the kid gloves. Naruto nodded. I agree. I say you open the gates and I'll use its power, and let's see who can last the longest, said Naruto. Your youthful flames burn brightly, but not as bright as mine. Gate of opening, gate of healing, gate of life, shouted Guy as with each gate opened, a surge of chakra shot through his body. Now let's see your power, my youthful friend. Done, shouted Naruto as the air became heavy with the feeling of hate and dread. Red chakra erupted out of Naruto and began to form the Nine Tails cloak around Naruto. When it's finally done, it has two tails and what looks like a third trying and failing to form. Everyone in the stadium was awed by the sheer power rolling off the two fighters. Everyone of the Konoha 12, and everyone else their age, wondered if this was some new jutsu. But three knew it wasn't. Neji, who had made it back to his seat and recognized the red chakra, Shikamaru, who had figured out that the Nine Tails was sealed in Naruto, and Ino, who had been told by Naruto about the Kyuubi. Are you still in control? asked Guy, still brimming with power. You bet, I can get up to 3 tails, but I start to lose it at 3. Shall we begin? Asked Naruto. Guy nodded and they both disappeared. It had been going on for about 10 minutes. The two forces would disappear, come together in the middle of the field, create a shock wave that would ripple throughout the stadium with a punch or a kick, then disappear again. Guy stopped in the middle of the field. Naruto was standing across from him. I'm sorry my youthful opponent, but I will have to end this now. Shouted a very happy Guy. The only man in the village that was even a challenge for him, other than Minato, was Kakashi, but now he had someone that could hold his own against him when he had 3 gates open. Yes, Guy was very happy. Frontal Lotus, shouted Guy as he kicked Naruto into the air and wrapped his arms around him. They started their descent, picking up more and more speed. Everyone in the crowd was silent. This kid had forced Guy to use the Frontal Lotus, his signature move. The fighters both hit the ground with a sickening thud and a huge plume of dust and dirt flew into the air, clouding everyone's view of the arena. After about 2 minutes the dust cleared and everyone saw Guy dragging himself out of the crater and collapsing on the ground. But only Guy was in the crater. Everyone began to look around for Naruto. Someone spotted him on top of the Jumbotron and pointed him out. He was laying there unmoving, on the TV beneath him. They were replaying the hit in super slow motion. Everyone was in complete awe at what they just saw. About 5 feet above the ground, Naruto had disappeared from Guy's arms, reappeared behind him, and used Guy's lower back to push off and shoot away from the green beast. Just in time for Guy to hit the ground and Naruto to get away. Naruto slowly got up and made his way back to the arena through the crowd. Everyone was speechless. Then, the stadium erupted in cheers and praise. Naruto barely heard it. He made his way to the middle of the arena to see Guy taken of in a stretcher. He looked to see his next opponent, only for him, and everyone else in the stadium to see Minato standing across from him. Final match, Naruto Uzumaki Namikaze vs Minato Namikaze. Everyone was silent. Naruto looked almost dead on his feet and now he had to fight the Hokage. Kakashi dropped down from the stands and walked over to them. Both fighters ready? Both father and son nodded. Fight. Both Minato and Naruto shot backwards giving each other space. I only have enough left for one jutsu, I'll make it count. Yelled Naruto as he charged up a Rasengan in his hand. But this Rasengan was different, it was pure white, almost translucent. Comin' at ya, dad, shouted Naruto as he took it at his father, Rasengan in hand. Minato just smiled, formed a Rasengan in his hand and yelled, "You're 50 years too soon, my boy," and Minato took off. They collided in the middle of the arena, Rasengan to Rasengan, and for a moment, time stood still. Everyone in the stadium was on edge. The boy everyone knew, whether it be good or bad, was going toe-to-toe with their leader, the most feared shinobi in the world, and the boy's father. Time began moving again, the Rasengan collided, a huge explosion took place. Think of Sasuke versus Naruto in the Valley of the End. And both men were launched backwards into the wall, knocking them both out cold. Naruto's mindscape. Naruto was having a weird dream. He was watching a man from a far-off world. A man he for some reason he knew as Teddy was railing a fine young lassie called Diana. Naruto shoots back into his own world, breathing unevenly. I've been hanging around pervy Sage too much, said Naruto aloud to himself. Oi, you say that like it's a bad thing. Naruto looked over to see Jiraiya sitting on the windowsill. Oh, hey pervy Sage. When did you get back? Asked Naruto. About noon, I got to see your fights. I have to admit it was impressive, said a very proud Jiraiya. I'm glad my student finally passed on that Kenjutsu style of his. You looked like you had a pretty nice grasp on it too. Tuchi-sensei was your student? Asked Naruto, as he remembered that his father said they were genin together. Yep, but there's something you need to know, said Jiraiya, completely seriously. I have been informed that Akatsuki will be in the village by the end of tomorrow night, and they're coming after you. What an Akatsuki? And why does it want me? Asked a startled Naruto. Akatsuki is a group of all S-class missing nin. It's also the group Itachi is my informant in. They're gathering tailed beasts and Jinchuriki. We still don't know what for, but we know that they have the strength to do it, stated Jiraiya. Me and your father discussed this, and we've decided that you will come with me for 2 to 3 years on a training trip. I'll teach you everything I know and you will be strong enough to defend yourself against everything the world is going to throw at you. So during these 2 to 3 years, will I be able to see my friends? Asked Naruto. Yes, your father and I have worked it where during your training, you will be handling missions as well. Every once in a while, you'll be paired with a team, answered Jiraiya. When do we leave? Asked a disheartened Naruto. We leave at dawn tomorrow. No one is to know about you leaving. We will leave from the east gate, explained Jiraiya. Come on, we got to go to the meeting. Meeting? Asked Naruto. The promotions, you know. You fought Kurenai, Rado, Genma, Guy and your old man, stated Jiraiya. Wait, who won that? All I remember is my Rasengan grinding into his and then an explosion, stated Naruto. Council room. Naruto and Jiraiya walked into the council room, only to see they were the last ones to make it. Okay, now that you two made it, let's get started, stated Minato, his arm covered in bandages. This meeting is to decide the ranks earned during the makeup exams. I will state the contestant, and everyone who has a vote will cast. Now first, Neji Hyuga, Shibi, Chunin, Hiyashi, Chunin, Shuza, Chunin, Shikaku, Chunin, Inoichi, Chunin, Minato, I vote Chunin, Neji Hyuga, you're hereby promoted to Chunin. Neji bowed and stepped back. Shino and Shikamaru go the same. Sasuke Uchiha. Shibi, Chunin, Heishi, Special Jonin, Ninjutsu, Taijutsu. Shuza, Special Jonin, Ninjutsu, Taijutsu. Shikaku, Special Jonin, Ninjutsu, Taijutsu. Inoichi, Chunin, Minato, I also vote Special Jonin. Congratulations Sasuke. You've earned it. Sasuke bowed and stepped back. Last one. Naruto Uzumaki Namikaze. But first, let's hear from your opponents first. Enter. The doors opened and revealed Rado, Genma, Guy and Kurenai. Rado and Genma were half mummified. Kurenai's jaw looked to be taped on and she had a neck brace and Guy was wrapped in bandages and had crutches. Okay, because a lot of interesting thing happened. I want you four to break down his skills that you saw during his matches, stated Minato. Genma was the first to speak. Naruto showed speed that rivaled that of Kakashi Hatake, that, along with his kenjutsu style and skill, which put mine to shame. From what I saw during our match, he should at least be a special jonin in speed and kenjutsu. Rado added, I would like to add his level-headedness to the pot as well. He injured us with a large amount of small cuts in non-vital areas and had the medics there before we hit the ground. Alright, Kurenai, you're up next, stated Minato. During our fight, he used description, speed and strength to beat me. He tricked me into leaving myself in a vulnerable position and capitalize. That, plus what I saw during your speech, proves to me that he should be a special jonin in intelligence, speed and genjutsu, stated Kurenai with an amount of venom in her voice. She was angry that he hurt Hinata and pissed he tricked her into catching herself in a genjutsu. Alright, you're up next, Guy. Naruto has shown that he is very capable of fighting solely with taijutsu. I'd say that he's about low-mid jonin normally, and when he uses the Kyuubi chakra, he's almost as good as me. Just from our match, I would say special jonin, taijutsu and tactician. There wasn't a punch or kick thrown I could get a free shot out of, stated a completely serious Guy. I think that's the longest he's ever gone without saying youth, stated Naruto. Okay, and last, Naruto's match with me. Minato took a breath. Naruto, show me the Rasengan you used against me in your right hand, and a normal Rasengan in your left. I can't, I can only do one at a time. Why don't you make a Rasengan in your hand and I'll make the one I used? Asked Naruto. Minato raised his hand. Naruto's hand rose as well and they both formed a Rasengan. Minato's was the stranded blue, while Naruto's was the same white, translucent color as at the arena. No way, stated an odd Jiraiya. Naruto. How are you doing that? Demanded Minato. Instead of regular chakra I just use wind chakra, stated Naruto. Do you mean to tell us that you can make a Rasengan, the ultimate form of shape and power manipulation known to the 5 great nations, with just wind chakra? Almost shouted Heishi. Yay, I can get close with my lightning chakra too, but I can't keep that one stable, stated Naruto. Okay, time to vote. What rank do you all think Naruto has earned? Asked a serious Minato. Shibi, Jonin, Hiyashi, Elite Jonin, Shuza, Elite Jonin. Shikaku, can I choose Sanin? Inoichi, Elite Jonin. Minato, as his father, I will ask his opponents and Master Jiraiya their opinion. Genma, Elite Jonin. Rado, Elite Jonin. Guy, Elite Jonin. Kurenai, Jonin. Jiraiya, Sanin or Kage. Minato smiled. Alright. I'm not sure if I can make Naruto a Sanin, so in the meantime, Naruto, you're the newest and youngest ever, Elite Jonin. There was a round of applause. Everyone is dismissed, everyone that participated in the exams, you get the week off. Next morning, East Gate. Naruto didn't sleep the night before. He was in complete disbelief that he was leaving the village behind for as long as 3 years. His thoughts were revolving around his friends, father, Tsunade and Shizune, his girlfriend Ino. He was hoping that she would still like him after all of this, but his life experience had taught him not to get his hopes up. As he approached the gate, he saw Jiraiya and Tsunade. Now don't get yourself killed, Baka. I don't know what I'd do without you, said a somewhat sad Tsunade. I promise Haim, and you do the same, I don't know what I would do without you, said Jiraiya in a low and loving voice. Then, it happened. Tsunade grabbed Jiraiya by the vest and they both leaned into a long and passionate kiss. Naruto was stunned. What was he seeing? Was Tsunade making a move on Jiraiya? Why wasn't Jiraiya surprised? Then it hit him, she didn't hate him like she always said, she lived him, and he knew it. Didn't see that coming. Naruto spun around to see Sasuke standing behind him with a travel pack. What are you doing here? Asked Naruto. -3.5 months later, Demon Country. Pervy Sage? Pervy Sage. Jiraiya was sleeping, and Naruto couldn't find a way to wake him up. Hold on Dobi, stated Sasuke. He started reusing the old nickname about 2 months ago, after Naruto tripped on Gamakichi in a spar with Jiraiya. I think I got this one. By all means, Teme. Naruto had started using the nickname after Sasuke started calling him Dobi again. Sasuke smirked. Hey Tsunade, long time no see. Jiraiya shot up and whipped his head around, only to spot his apprentices rolling around on the ground laughing. Oi! When are you brats going to stop doing that? Yelled an angry Jiraiya. When you tell us the truth about you and Ba-chan, stated Naruto. I just do it for fun, stated Sasuke. Never going to happen, now get to training, shouted Jiraiya. Both of them nodded and shot off to opposite sides of the clearing they were in. Over the last few months, both had made great strides in their training. Jiraiya had figured out the best ways for each to train. Mondays were taijutsu, Tuesdays were ninjutsu, Wednesdays were genjutsu, Thursdays were weapons training, Friday they were free to work on whatever they wanted. Sasuke would usually work on his effectiveness with the Sharingan and Naruto would train to handle more of the Nine Tails chakra. Saturdays were used to train speed, power and stamina. Sundays were chakra control and building reserves. They would take every 3 weeks off to recharge and complete missions. The missions were all B, A and S rank, from information gathering to taking down missing nin. The duo and Jiraiya were so effective that they had recently been added to both Iwa's and Kumo's bingo books. Sasuke Uchiha, Konoha, Ililius, Nun, listed as Special Jonin, mid-high B rank, one half of the Brothers of Destruction, Yin-Yang Brothers, untouchable twins. Partner. Naruto Uzumaki Namikaze. Skills. Highly skilled in nin and taijutsu, mid-range fighter, fully matured Sharingan, rumors of Mangekyo Sharingan, several high-powered jutsu. Affinity. Fire, lightning, rumored earth. Orders. Capture on sight. Note. Travels with Naruto Uzumaki Namikaze and Jiraiya of the Sannin. Teamwork with Namikaze is on par with the AB duo of Kumo. Naruto Uzumaki Namikaze. Alias. Konoha's second Flash. Konoha's one-man army. Youngest ever elite Jonin of the 5 great nations. Mid-A rank, rumored to be near S rank. One half of the Brothers of Destruction, Yin-Yang Brothers, untouchable twins. Partner. Sasuke Uchiha. Skills. Extremely skilled in taijutsu and ninjutsu. Master of the blue blur kenjutsu style, all-range fighter, best at up-close and mid-range combat. Can make upwards of 500 shadow clones, cannot be caught in genjutsu, host of the nine-tailed fox. Affinity. Master of wind, good control of lightning, rumored to have water. Orders. Kill on sight, if no Jonin is present, flee on sight. Note: travels with Sasuke Uchiha and Jiraiya of the Sannin. Teamwork with Uchiha is on par with the AB duo of Kumo. Son of Minato Namikaze. Has beaten the Case Cage in full Jinchuriki form, outlasted Might Guy in a taijutsu fight and beat Minato Namikaze Rasengan to Rasengan. Naruto was working on his Jinchuriki skills. He had made it all the way to 4 tails in his cloak form and could take 1 tail in the mini-beast form. The Kyuubi had explained that there were 3 different forms. The first and easiest to control was the cloak form. Think of 1-3 tails in the anime. The form he takes during the first day of the war is the 9-tail cloak form. The second and much harder to control was the mini-beast form, 4 to 7 tails in the anime. And the last was full beast form. The Kyuubi with no hair in the fight with Pain is the 8-tail and his full Kyuubi form is 9. Each of these forms had 9 level, 1 for each tail. Jiraiya was bought out of his amazement at watching both apprentice work, when a small, blue toad appeared on his shoulder and handed him a scroll. The toad then poofed away and Jiraiya opened the scroll. It saw their mission assignments for the next month. The first mission was a escort mission, the second was a Minato, my student, you are a genius, said Jiraiya quietly to himself, before speaking up, alright brats. That's enough for today, we got our missions and we're heading out in 10 minutes. Naruto was the first to speak up, hey pervy sage. This have anything to do with that weird town we went to before? I'll get to that later. Nope, escort mission, now both of you pack your shit and get ready, like I said. We're moving out in 10 minutes, stated Jiraiya. Where are we going? Asked a confused Sasuke. For them to head out during training, it must be important. Suna. -3 days later, desert outside of Suna. Why the hell are we taking the long way? This desert is so goddamn hot. Whined Naruto. Shut up Dobi, you're the one that's wearing a black cloak, stated a smirking Sasuke. He heard the sound of something being sealed and turned around to see Naruto walking behind him without his famed black cloak. It had undergone a couple of changes. The first, that it was no longer blue flames that licked the bottom of the cloak, but a lightning pattern, which even Sasuke and Jiraiya had to admit was pretty cool. The second change was, that with Naruto now being competent in Fuinjutsu, he had added several seals to the cloak, from one that made the cloak flame resistant, to a seal that made the material about 10 times more durable, to one that made it so that dirt, blood and water couldn't soak it. What now Teme? Asked Naruto. Shut up brats, we're here, stated Jiraiya. Now you idiots keep quiet, we're heading straight for the Case Cage Tower. -15 minutes later, Case Cage Tower. Naruto was walking up the stairs to the office of the Case Cage. He and Sasuke had been told by Jiraiya that their mission would be explained when they met the Case Cage. Naruto didn't like the idea that someone other than his father would be giving them orders. As he walked into the Case Cage office, he was shocked to see someone completely unexpected sitting in the cage's chair. Temari, shouted a confused Naruto. Hello Naruto, how was your trip? Asked Temari in a seductive tone. Naruto was panicking, what the hell was going on? Temari was the Case Cage, and she was seducing him? It was fine. So you're the woman in charge now? Asked a nervous Naruto, trying anything he could to get away from flirting with both the Case Cage and his friend's sister. Temari got up from the chair and started walking over to her fellow blonde. You could be in charge of me if you want? I would love to see what Konoha's second flash could do outside the battlefield. Hopefully you're a bit slower in bed than in a fight, said Temari, voice dripping with lust as she pulled him into herself with him in front and the wall behind them. Naruto was freaking out, he didn't know what to do. She was his friend's sister and he had a girlfriend. Suddenly he was thrown backwards and slammed into the wall across from Temari. With sand pinning him to the wall, he looked to the doorway to see a very pissed off Gaara standing there, with murder in his eyes. Namikaze, what the hell were you doing with my sister? Shouted Gaara with all the overprotective little brother his body could muster. He tried to take advantage of me, shouted Temari. You came onto me, shouted Naruto right back. Are you calling my sister a lair? Asked Gaara in a dangerous tone. Not that Gaara talking at all was dangerous. Yes? Answered Naruto. Wrong answer, stated Gaara as his head rose up. Naruto just shut his eyes and waited for the end, which never came. He opened his eyes and found that, Though he was still on the wall, Gaara was sitting behind the case-cage desk, wearing the case-cage hat. He was staring at Naruto with a smirk on his face. Behind Gaara was Temari, rolling around on the floor laughing. "You thought I was being serious?" she cackled. Naruto's sweat dropped. "You know. As the host of Kurama, one of the things I can do is smell pheromones getting released." Gaara tilted his head. "What does that have to do with anything?" he asked. Naruto grinned. "There's two people I can sense releasing pheromones. The first is Pervy Sage, who seems to always be real using them." Everyone in the room's sweat dropped. "The other is her," he stated while smiling innocently at Temari. Temari blushed a shade of red that would put Hinata to shame, and bolted out of the room. "Well, now that my prank is complete, let's get down to business, shall we?" asked Gaara as he let Naruto of the wall and retraced his sand. "Hey Gaara, do you ever clean that stuff? It's pretty foul," stated Naruto, digging some sand out of his waistband. "How does one go about cleaning sand?" asked Gaara. "Shut up, what are we here for anyway? Surely you didn't send for me just so you could prank me?" asked Naruto. Gaara smirked. "You amaze me with your ability to go from idiot to genius in an instant." Naruto gave Gaara a deadpan look. "The reasons you're here are as followed. First, I've come to learn you're both quite good with seals." He looks to Naruto and Jiraiya. They both nod. "I ask you both to look at my seal and try to fix what you can." Naruto smiles and nods. "Second, I'm going to watch the Chunin exams in 1 month's time. But first I have meetings set up with the Raikage for a treaty that could benefit my village. Your father sent you three as a sign of good faith to travel with me, Kankuro and Temari to Kumo. The last is a personal favor." He looked to Naruto. "If you can fix my seal, can you teach me how to control Shukaku without killing everyone?" "Yes, to all three things. I'd love to help a friend," declared Naruto. "Thank you, I shall have a chamber set up for the sealing. For now, I shall show you where you three will be staying for the next few days." Gaara got up and jumped out the window. The three Konoha nin followed. Case-cage estate. Temari was in her room, bawling her eyes out. The reason? She was embarrassed, but she wasn't exactly sure why. She had been embarrassed before. Why was this time so different? She was asking herself these questions when she heard a knock at the door. "Hey Temari? You alright?" It was her younger brother Kankuro. Despite his usual behavior, he was the main sounding board for both Temari and Gaara. "I don't know what happened." She bawled from her room. Kankuro was immediately put on guard. His sister never bawled. And she was only known to cry when it pertained to her family or herself, which made Kankuro understand that either Gaara was dead, which he would have known by now, or that something happened to her. "Temari, can I come in? I would like to help," stated Kankuro, the tone of his voice showing concern. "Might as well, you'll hear it by the end of the day anyways." She continued to bawl from behind the door. He entered to find Temari sitting on the windowsill, apparently calmer than she was before, which she credited to having her brother there. "Okay, now what's wrong? You're never like this," as he sat down in the chair in the corner of the room, waiting for an explanation. Temari sighed. "You know Naruto is going to be our guard for our trip, right?" Kankuro nodded. "Well, me and Gaara decide to prank him, and it didn't end well." "What happened?" he asked with a raised eyebrow. He could tell it didn't turn out violent. There wasn't a scratch on Temari, and if Gaara fought Naruto again then everyone in the village would have known. Even though young, Gaara was still the case-cage, even if just being named so last week, and Naruto had beaten Gaara before and was listed in 2 bingo books as an A-class ninja. They were basically the same in strength as far as most who knew both were concerned. So it would be obvious if there were fighting. What was the prank? "We set it up due that I was behind the desk when they walked in. Then I was going to come onto him till Gaara came barging in and threatened him for flirting with me," stated Temari, biting her lower lip. "So where did it go bad? Did Gaara kill him?" Kankuro asked jokingly, lightly laughing till Temari shot him. "They say one more thing and I'll castrate you." "Look, shutting him up? Then what happened?" "I was flirting with him. I decided to take it to another level. I grabbed him and pulled him into me against the wall," stated Temari. Kankuro was wide-eyed. What happened then? Did he get a bond?" Kankuro: "No, he didn't. Gaara pinned him to the wall and we scared the shit out of him," she explained. "So, what part of it went bad?" he asked. You know how Jinchuriki gets some of the skills that their Biju have?" she asked. "Yay, Gaara can control sand and crap," So what? Asked Kankuro, not understanding where she was going this. Well, apparently Naruto can sense hormones, she stated with her head in her knees. So what, it's not like you were turned on by Naruto, he yelled, just figuring out why she was crying, but he couldn't help it. You flirted with Naruto, our brother's best friend, and you got turned on by it. He laughed. It's not funny, Kankuro, she shouted. Sure it's not. Just that you're attracted to a Konoha nin, who all three of us owe for getting us our Gaara back, and is the son of the most powerful man in the elemental nations, not to mention that he is as strong as our brother. Did I miss anything? He strugglingly stated between laughs. Temari was just blushing furiously, whether embarrassed, pissed off, or if it was thinking about things. We're home. Come on down. It was Gaara, and why did he say we? Be right down, Gaara, yelled Kankuro before turning to his sister. If you really like him, just remember there's only 4 rooms, he said with a sly smile before he went downstairs to meet their guests. Temari, finally figuring out who was with her brother, had bought home. Naruto. That night, Cage Mansion, living room. It had been an interesting few hours to say the least. Sasuke and Gaara getting to know each other better. Baki and Jiraiya were discussing Jiraiya's books, and Naruto and Kankuro were pulling pranks on the village. Turns out someone who can control items with chakra strings and someone who can think up ridiculously effective plans on the fly were a perfect pranking combination, though the villagers didn't seem to enjoy it too much. The whole time Naruto and Kankuro were terrifying Suna, Temari had been watching from a distance in shocked wonder. Those pranks are ingenious, and at the rate they're pulling them, they must be being made up on the spot. But by who? It can't be Kankuro, he's not that smart. Is Naruto thinking these up? He must have had these stored up forever. But how does he know the layout of Suna so well? She quietly asked herself, not expecting anyone to hear. Simple, I don't. She turned to her right to see Naruto, sitting next to her. When did he get here? She mentally shouted. How did you sneak up on me? No one can sneak up on me, she half asked, half yelled. I can escape Anbu, Jonin and Chunin after defacing the Hokage monument. I think I can sneak up on a Genin, no matter how attractive, he stated with a smile. I'll have you know I'm a Chunin, she stated before a slight pause. Did you just call me attractive? She accused. No, I said attentive, though now that you mention it, yeah, you're pretty attractive, he stated. Oh, must have heard wrong, she said with a blush. It happens, shrugged Naruto, and to answer your first question, the real me didn't have these all plans out. Real you? Are you a clone? She questioned. Attractive and smart, he joked, getting a deep blush out of Temari. But yay, one just a clone, he made me purring the flower shop prank. You said that he didn't have these planned out, care to explain? She questioned. Just what I said, Booz didn't have the layout of the village, nor did he plan ahead. Everything you've seen has been planned and executed on the fly. It's one of the things that makes us so dangerous. Not even that lazy bum Shikamaru could keep up with us. 'Cause no matter how much you plan in for a battle, we can make a counter-plan in seconds, explained the clone. Temari was floored. How could someone be that smart? Not even a Nara could fight and think this stuff up on the run. If you're so smart, why do you act like an idiot? Hey, I'm not an idiot, I just don't understand everything the first time through. The clone claimed. Besides, I can only plan in spur-of-the-moment situations. Anything else I'm kinda screwed. So you're only smart in a fight? Asked Temari. Don't rub it in, said Naruto in a sad voice. I don't understand. Your father is Minato Namikaze, the most powerful man on earth and arguably the smartest, and you're only smart during a fight? How is that possible? She questioned. Simple. I couldn't learn anything the first 12 years of my life. All my teachers hated me for holding Kurama, so they didn't teach me. It wasn't till my last year in the academy that I learned anything useful, so in reality, I've only been learning the last 2 years. He answered with some pride. He was in the top 10 most powerful people in the hidden village of the Leaf. And he has really only 2 years of teaching under his belt. Temari was floored. Not by the fact that he was mistreated by the people because of his Jinchuriki status, but he was an elite Jonin. There's only 15 known elite Jonin in Konoha, and he did it in basically 2 years. How strong would have been if he wasn't held back? How did you get so strong? I've been called a genius by my close friends and dad. I was able to learn most of it on my own. And I'm a nin, tai, and kenjutsu natural. I have been able to combine nin and kenjutsu to use in my blue blur style. I learned the Rasengan in a little under a week when it took my dad 3 years to create, and I've taken it to levels that have been called impossible by even my father. And because of Kurama, I have more chakra than almost everyone else in the world. I guess I just did it with hard work and talent, he stated. What? She shouted, scaring Naruto. What do you mean what? Did I say something wrong? He questioned. Sorry, no you didn't say anything wrong. I was just surprised to hear all that. She said with a blush. She wouldn't admit it, but she really liked strong guys. But being the sister of a cage doesn't exactly bring the men running, and it only got worse when he crushed a Jonin's hand when he grabbed her ass. Oh, okay. Let's get back to the house. They're almost done with their pranking spree. He grabbed her shoulder and they disappear. Unknown cave. 9 figures appear standing on what appears to be the outstretched fingers of a half-submerged demonic statue near the back of what appears to be just your ordinary cave. However, we all know that nothing in this world of ninja is as it appears. The figures were all intangible, simple projections of the true bodies of these 9 increasingly dangerous men and women. All is still, silent. That, however, was about to change. Well, you called us? We got a mission or something? Asked the never-patent Deidara, an average-looking blonde that copied the hairstyle of a certain Yamanaka heir. Shut up Deidara, you're an embarrassment to artists, protested Sasori, a short, hunched-over man that seemed to rattle as he moved. Both of you shut up, scolded what appeared to be their leader. His only feature that stuck out was his purple, ringed eyes, and Itachi. Put that damn Pocky away. I don't even know how you're eating, your real body is somewhere in fire country. Itachi simply narrowed his eyes and continued to eat his favorite food, defying logic as his holographic body ingested said Pocky. Ugh. Whatever, let's just get to my announcement. With the failed ATEMPT to capture the Yonbi, we are delaying our hunt for Jinchuriki to gain strength and money. We will meet in 2 months. Dismissed, announced the purple-eyed man as he watched 7 figures disappear, leaving only himself and Itachi. How goes the plan to bring me the Namikaze boy? Good, I should be able to get him to you in the next year, stated Itachi with a smirk. He and his father trust me and Kisame to a fair degree. Good, keep up your mission until then. Case Cage Mansion, midnight. Naruto found himself on the couch in the living room. Why you ask? Jiraiya took the master bedroom, as Gaara didn't sleep, which left Sasuke and Naruto the last bedroom, which only had a bed big enough for 1 person, and Sasuke had somehow managed to get him to forfeit, giving Sasuke the bedroom, and Naruto an old, lumpy, overused couch. Hey, you awake? Asked a quiet Temari. You don't have to sleep on the couch you know? Oh hey Temari, where else would I sleep? Asked Naruto. Well I have a king-sized bed, stated Temari, trying to make a move on the oblivious Namikaze. But then where would you sleep? I wouldn't want to take your bed from you, stated the horrifyingly oblivious Naruto. We would both sleep in the bed Baka, it's a king size, it's not like we would be snuggling, deadpanned Temari before she hatched a plan, unless you want to snuggle? Next morning, Naruto woke up only to find that, even though when they fell asleep they were back to back on opposite sides of the bed, now they were in the middle of the bed, with Temari using his pectoral as a pillow and draping an arm over his waist. Naruto didn't panic though, there was no reason to. He figured that this was what she was aiming at anyway. Jiraiya had explained that both Naruto and Sasuke were part of the CRA, Clan Restoration Act, which stated that if you're the last male of your clan, you were all but forced to have multiple wives. Jiraiya had gone on a 2-hour rant about lucky Gakis, and why not me? Naruto had wrote Ino a letter informing her about the CRA and surprisingly, she said she was okay with it, as long as the other girls truly liked him and weren't just fangirls. So it wasn't all bad that Temari was using him as a body pillow, really there was nothing wrong with it. He looked out the window to see that it was still dark out, and slipped back to sleep. -3 hours later, Temari had just woken up, only to find that during the night, both her and Naruto had shifted positions. Now Naruto was laying on his back, his arm around her shoulders. She though, was doing more than her fair share of the trouble, if you could call it that. Her head was resting on his chest, one arm under the small of his back, the other draped over his waist and she had her legs trapping one of his legs in a death grip. Needless to say, she was blushing furiously, she had never been this intimate with anyone, let alone someone that was almost considered family and the one person to ever beat her brother, the cage in a fight. She heard a knock at her door and the panicked voice of her oldest brother call out, "Hey Tamari. Wake up, Naruto is missing and we can't find him anywhere." She didn't know what to do. She didn't want to look bad if Kankuro found out he was in her bed with her. She couldn't think of a way out of it. Thankfully she didn't have to. "Shut up, makeup boy. We had a late night, let us sleep." It was Naruto. At first she freaked out, but she saw Naruto wink and egg her on to add to the fire. "Yay Kankuro. Let me and Naru-kun sleep," she yelled out. Seconds later, after a stutter session that would Hinata jealous, there was a thump sound outside the door. Naruto looked to Tamari and flashed his infamous foxy grin. -6 hours later, border of wind and river country. There was a rather large group of Suna ninja moving rather quickly over the border into river country. In the group was 4 genin teams: Baki, Tamari, Kankuro, Gaara, Sasuke and Naruto. "Are you going to tell us what our mission is? Because this is starting to piss me off," stated Naruto childishly. "Escort, and I find it funny your father didn't tell you where we are going, so I am not going to tell you," joked Gaara. Though only Naruto could tell he was joking. "Do you want me to beat your ass again?" joked Naruto. Everyone tensed up except Naruto, Gaara and Sasuke. Sasuke because he knew Naruto could take on Gaara, Naruto because he was just joking, and Gaara because he enjoyed the banter that always came with his best friend. "Fair enough, your mission is to escort us to Kumo, from there I don't know what is planned for you," stated Gaara. "Thanks," stated Naruto. "Now how about that fight?" -2 days later, Kumo main gate. "Everything's here," stated one of the 4 men guarding the entrance to the village. He then pointed to Sasuke and Naruto. "You two are to go to the Raikage office right now." They both nodded and took off. Raikage office. Naruto and Sasuke had just entered the office of the Raikage, only to see the rest of the Konoha 12 minus themselves, Shino, Neji and Shikamaru. They looked to the man behind the desk and realized that he was talking to Hinata. "Haha. Yes, now my dear, if we could finish what my father started 8 years ago, we can get you all to your rightful place." Before anyone in the office had time to blink, the Raikage was buried halfway into the wall behind his desk. By the time everyone knew what had just happened, they saw Naruto holding the bulky Raikage by the throat, pushing him farther into the wall with ungodly strength. I suggest you revise your previous statement concerning Hinata. That's all for now. If you enjoy, then please like, share and do comments.